Welcome back, everybody, to Dead Film Critics Society. It's been a minute, but as always, I'm here with my beautiful co-host, Aiden Billing. And we're going to
Never
talk
grab my
about
bitches.
some
Don't be
movies.
homophobic. All right, great.
Yeah.
Let's get in there. Should we
Um,
do trivia first
yeah,
then?
let's start with trivia. So,
Yeah.
today we'll be talking about Top Gun Maverick and Edge of Tomorrow, but I got something about Top Gun Maverick. So
Okay.
out of the six actors that they had actually fly in the jets, how many of them threw up? There were six of them. How many out of the six threw up while filming?
I think everybody but Tom Cruise probably threw up.
So you're saying five out of
I'd
six?
put 5 out of 6. Yeah.
It was actually only half of them, so three out of six of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this
Yeah.
trivia thing doesn't mention which ones exactly, but according to Miles Teller, three of the six new actors, I need to clarify, I guess. So Tom Cruise wasn't actually in
Uh,
that count. Three of the six new actors
okay.
threw up every day. Every day of filming. I didn't read that part. Threw up every day of filming in the jets.
Oh
So,
my God.
yeah.
All
No,
right. Well,
I,
I have one small piece of trivia for you too, if that's okay. I
yeah,
just
no,
want to quickly.
absolutely, yeah.
Great. All right. Well, it's more like just a quick guess. I'm sure most people know this, right? But do you know who directed the original Top Gun from
Uh, t
1986?
Tony Scott did.
Yes, brother of
Yeah.
Ridley Scott. Let's not forget about that
That's the
guy.
part
He
I
had some
did
of the
know for a
best.
while.
I know it's crazy. Like he had some of the best action movies of the late '80s, early '90s under his belt. To be honest, I mean, has a pretty good body of work. Quite
Yeah.
impressed.
All right. Well,
Uh,
so another thing actually haven't mentioned this Aiden yet, but another thing I want to do is quickly, when we're talking about the movies, mention some fun trivia because I just discovered while looking through like IMDb, I always liked looking through the fun trivia
mm,
tidbits. You always find some interesting stuff that people have found from interviews or stories from
yeah,
set. They're always pretty interesting, especially when you got a guy like Tom Cruise working on set. You know, there's going to be some stories. Um,
yeah,
and since we have Tom Cruise as the star of both of our movies. Even though I don't know if he should have been both, but I'll get into that more later. Um,
yeah.
right now we got some movie news. Do you, Eddie, Aiden, you got something for us real quick? Because I always got the more
Yeah.
niche stuff.
No, no, you definitely do. Like I guess I'm more mainstream. That's kind of my thing. You are definitely the niche man. But I have two bigger pieces of news, and then one thing I just wanted to quickly discuss with you, and probably it'll make you be disgusted. But anyways, I'll get to that in a little bit. So the first one is that they're apparently not going to water down Deadpool for the new Disney movie. That's going to come out in a bit, because as we know, Fox is now owned by
Yeah,
Disney, right? And Deadpool falls into that category because he is an X-Men. So I'm actually pretty thankful for that. I mean, like I know you have your own opinions on the Deadpool movies. I know you're not
yeah.
the biggest fan of
I'm not a
them,
big
but
fan.
can we both agree that it's a good thing that they're not going to water it down? Because they
Yeah,
are doing the
like
same. They're
yeah,
kind of they seem like
yeah,
they're going to do the same thing with Daredevil, and I'm kind of worried about that to be honest. Because the Netflix series was peak,
yeah.
you
I
know,
mean,
and I'm very scared about that.
yeah, you'd be taking away like a key part of like if you're gonna do the
Yeah,
Deadpool character, you kind of have to have that. Like I don't know.
yeah.
I would, and I mean, I don't know. I don't care. Like, it's not like I want anyone who's involved with that movie working with anything else. If they're having fun with it and people are
Mm.
enjoying it, I'm not against that at all. Um, like I don't know. I have a pretty low thought of Ryan Reynolds. I don't think he's a very talented actor. He's a very good-looking man for sure, but
Yes.
Ryan Gosling is superior in every way, I'd say. Even looks, even though they are both very handsome men, I will say.
Mm.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. I wouldn't yeah, like I think Disney knows they're not that stupid to, go ahead and ruin
Yeah.
Fox properties by trying to, make them part of the
But
Disney brand cuz Deadpool is
they're
not
stupid enough
Deadpool.
to ruin Netflix properties though. But we'll get into
Yeah,
that. I don't want to
yeah,
lay too many judgments until I see the show when it comes
that's
out
for sure.
eventually. But
Yeah.
for real, like it better be a hard PG-13 at least. Otherwise, I'm not going to accept anything
Yeah, I know.
else in
Like,
that
yeah,
show.
I don't know if Daredevil. I don't know
Yeah,
if they should be trying to work Daredevil into like the MCU brand of sanitization and friendliness for families.
yeah.
Really, he's not
No,
that kind
even
of
if it was,
character.
yeah, exactly. I mean, even
So,
if it was more in line with the violence we saw in,
yeah,
Doctor Strange 2, I think that would be okay. Because that was some pretty brutal stuff in there
yeah,
for
I
a Marvel
know,
movie.
I know.
Yeah, it
It's a
caught me
little
off
weird.
guard.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I think Disney's getting slightly more ballsy with that kind of stuff, and then also like
which is good. I like
apparently
that.
they
Yeah.
also refuse to like cut out the America Chavez's like two moms for like I don't know Saudi Arabia and think probably China, but they're also kind of China's just playing less and less of Marvel movies these days, anyways.
Well,
You
that's
know,
good.
with
Yeah.
like Chloe Zhao being hired and all that stuff, I feel like China is constantly more beef with Disney in general. Also, I don't think they were a big
Yeah.
fan of I don't think they were a big fan of Shang-Chi either, so I don't know.
Because apparently they
But
consider Simu Liu unattractive, which is blasphemy. I'm sorry, that is
it
ridiculous.
is
Like
blasphemy.
he's not considered a conventionally attractive male over there. What the fuck,
I
man?
mean
That's just crazy.
that's somewhat Eastern culture, but it's also I don't
Oh
know.
my god. He's just okay. Sorry. Anyways,
Yeah.
I have one of the pieces of news I
Yeah,
wanted to get
sorry.
into. So,
Yeah.
the Blade movie with Mahershala Ali
Yeah,
starts
yeah.
filming July 4th, and I'm actually pretty excited with that because, like, at the end of Eternals, we kind of heard his voice, and that was like really the only
Okay.
exciting thing about Eternals because the whole movie was just a big excuse for me to
I still haven't
nap,
seen it.
basically.
I still haven't seen it.
Don't watch it. It's not worth it, man.
I
I'm
don't know.
serious.
I mean,
It's
I
so
might
fucking
watch
boring
it
and
only to like
pretentious.
complete Chloe Zhao's filmography,
Yeah, okay. I
which
guess
I guess is the
that's a good
unfortunate
reason to
part of
watch
it.
it.
Yeah, I still
I
have to
don't even
watch the
notice it,
two
like,
other
cause
films.
yeah, we just had I had high expectations of her, but I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't think she really dropped the ball. I don't know if the big blockbuster thing is really her, area of
yeah,
expertise. Which is
yeah.
okay. There's nothing wrong with that, but
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
fine.
I just, it was trying to do too much at once. That's the problem. But I am really excited for this because I love Marshall Ali as an actor, even though Green Book was very like on the nose and by the
Yeah.
numbers, racial examination of the United States.
Okay.
It was
But
he was still very good in that movie, and he definitely deserved his Oscar. He was
yeah,
great in Moonlight as well. So I'm excited what he can see what he can bring to the Blade character. I should
no.
actually still watch the original ones with Wesley Snipes because I've heard those are pretty fun. So
Yeah, I haven't watched those,
yeah,
but I love Mahershala. I think he's been amazing in everything he's been in. House of Cards,
yeah,
his two supporting actor wins in Green Book and Moonlight. And
hmm
I don't think Green Book's as bad as everyone. I don't know. Like it gets a lot of hate for being Roma, and there's no way it should have beat Roma. But it's like it's a
no,
fine. It's not even
it's by
bad.
no means a bad
It's like
movie.
above
Yeah,
average,
yeah.
frankly. It's kind of funny sometimes.
I mean, we all
Yeah,
know
it's not the
those
fault,
award shows
but
are rigged anyways. So I mean,
uh, I don't
I
know.
mean, come
Everyone
on, man.
sucks.
Well, maybe not the Oscars, but the Grammys and the Golden Globes specifically are
Oh
rigged.
yeah,
Let's
for
be honest
sure.
there.
Those are for sure
Okay.
rigged, 100%.
Yeah.
Um,
Honestly.
yeah,
Well,
I
I
don't
had one
know.
more thing I wanted to
All
quickly
right, cool.
discuss. I don't want. I know you got lots of cool stuff you want to talk about, but can we just have a moment to talk about the Ant-Man Thanos scene in The Boys season 3, where he,
Oh,
that
oh
was
that
fucking horror. That was horrifying. That really caught me off
I
guard. Like,
didn't
'cause,
think
I
of
would.
that. I did not think of that when I watched that scene. I just thought, yeah, this is the boys. I don't know. I didn't think of
But
that specifically. I
that
know,
was
I know, I
literally their
that was the
inspiration, though.
meme. That was did they like
Yeah.
say that in interviews that like they
No,
like
they did say that.
okay.
They said that we want to deliver something that Marvel wouldn't have the balls to do, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, you really did that, didn't you? Fuck. It was so uncomfortable to just watch him just like walk up
Walk
inside
in his
it, and like.
anus.
But I will say the production design to make the inside of a urethra was incredible. I don't know how the hell they did that.
I'm pretty sure that was some solid CGI work. I'm
It
pretty
didn't look
sure.
like CGI, man. It looked like he could actually touch it. But if it is CGI, it's
I'm pretty
really
sure
good
that was
CGI.
pretty sure that would be CGI. I can't
Well, I
imagine
mean,
they
either.
put in all that work for a set
Well, I
like
mean,
that.
just on the inside part. I'm not talking about the outside part. Like the part where he's walking in there, in the hole.
Yeah,
But I mean, either way, it looked really good. Despite how horrifying it was. But yeah,
yeah.
no, it really caught me off guard. Did not expect that to happen.
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
quickly
Mm.
talk about the Boys season 3 maybe quickly after what. Have you seen the
Yeah.
newest episode?
Yeah, I've seen all the
Okay.
episodes so far.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe we'll talk
And
about it.
Obi
Maybe we'll talk about it in the future when we like cuz I haven't seen the fourth episode, so maybe we'll talk about it in the future.
that's all good. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
No problem. All right. What
Okay.
do you got?
I'm just scrolling through like cuz I don't know, I'm part of this Discord server that just posts every type of news ever. We
Mm.
got a Nike drama being directed by Ben Affleck apparently. It's gonna have
Oh.
Matt Damon in it. Big shocker
Oh,
for a
okay.
Ben Affleck movie. Viola Davis, Jason Bateman, Chris Tucker, and Chris Messina. So,
Chris Tucker, that's good. I
Yeah.
mean, like we haven't seen him in too much since Rush Hour, so I'm
Yeah.
happy that he's starting to come back a little
No,
bit.
it's a interesting
Yeah.
cast. It says the film will tell the incredible story of how Maverick sneaker salesman Sonny Vaccaro led a fledgling running shoe company in its pursuit of Michael Jordan. So I
Well,
wonder,
that's
yeah.
a cool story. I think that'll be interesting. Because it is
Um,
quite crazy. Because Nike was not a big brand before they landed Jordan. It was like
no.
Adidas or Converse. Those were the big ones at the time. So I
Yeah, I
mean,
think Converse
yeah,
was like the biggest for a while.
yeah, the biggest.
And
That's right.
then,
Yeah, I mean, Magic. They had Magic and Larry
yeah.
Bird, right? So
hmm
yeah.
I think Adidas, I don't know if Adidas ever got to be number one because I remember there was a big thing where there was brothers who found that company and then they split up. The other brother made Puma. I don't know if you knew that.
That's why those shoes kind of look similar in some ways.
Yeah,
Interesting.
sometimes, yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
kind of makes
I feel
sense.
like every
But
shoe company's copied each other a little bit at some point. It's
well,
like that's what,
obviously, yeah.
yeah.
But I mean,
So
Pumas are kind of weird shoes, man. I don't know if I really like that. I don't like the
I don't
look of
know.
them, and
There's some
or the feel. They
there's
don't
some
feel
nice
comfy.
Puma. I don't know. I haven't tried any Pumas recently, but there's some nice
I
looking
would get
Pumas
New
out
Balance
there.
before I got a Puma. I'm not gonna lie.
That's fair. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know. New Balance is making some cool stuff
No,
these
they are
days.
making cool stuff these days. Yeah, it's not just the dad shoes anymore. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Um,
Yeah.
or they kind of like took advantage of when the dad shoe got the kind of became part of streetwear. They kind of
Yeah.
took advantage of that. Um,
No, it is interesting.
so there's a
Hmm.
game based on the Queen's Gambit being in the works at Netflix.
You mean just chess?
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. I don't know. My best guess
I'm
is that
like,
they're like doing a story thing where you like do different things and then you play a game of chess maybe. That'd be kind of interesting to do like a I don't know, a story based like
that's fair. I mean, they
trying
do
to
have like
trying to get people
yeah,
to be better at chess kind of thing where they play like AI
yeah,
that are well, if they played a good AI, they would never win because a computer just never loses at chess basically if it's
yeah. No,
programmed well
you're
enough.
definitely right there. Yeah.
Um, Speaking of The Boys, it has been renewed for season 4, which isn't
Yes, I
a
saw that.
surprise to
Yeah.
anyone, but
Yeah. No. It's
um,
great so far.
yeah.
Happy with that.
Everything
Yeah.
Everywhere All at Once was a
Mm.
big did you end up seeing that?
I did see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oof. Brilliant.
Yeah, it was a
Absolutely
great movie.
brilliant.
I think everyone really likes that movie who's seen it.
I was like
Had
laughing and I nearly cried. It was like it's
yeah.
such a weird range of emotion, honestly.
Yeah.
I loved it.
No,
Normally
it
I
was
consider
really
that
good.
like tonal dissonance where there's just like too much of everything,
Yeah.
not to like, compensate, but like it actually worked really well. I loved
Mhm.
it so much.
Yeah.
It was great. Yeah.
But it had the number one spot on Letterboxd for a while, and now it has the number one spot on A24's filmography for the highest grossing movie internationally now. It had the domestic one for a little bit, beating Uncut Gems, but just beat Hereditary for being the highest grossing A24 movie worldwide. So it's well
Okay.
deserved. It's a great movie. It's still pretty high up on Letterboxd, and I don't know, everyone really liked it, and I'm looking forward to what the Daniels make next. I really enjoyed it.
Mm.
I will definitely be seeing everything everywhere all at once again. It's I don't know. It's just one of the rare movies I think. Pretty much, I don't know. It's kind of like Parasite. Then I really don't know. I don't think everyone like thinks it's like an instant 10, like Parasite. But I think pretty much so. Like every person I've spoken to about the movie is like, yeah, this is like an easy 9. This is or like maybe a 10. I don't know what you would give it personally, but like
I'd give it
everyone's
like a
like,
9, if I'm being
yeah,
honest.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, see, not as many people
Mm.
I think give it as 10 as like Parasite,
But
but
it's
like
just
everyone's like,
consistently nines.
yeah, like a lot of
Yeah.
nines. A bunch of people also say it's like a 10 or like the best movie they've seen in a few years. So that's
Mm.
awesome to see. Um, I don't know if I can. Maybe I can show the. I'll quickly go into the. Well, I don't know if you can see it very well, but this is the first image from the HBO show for The
Oh
Last
yeah,
of
The Last
Us.
of Us.
The
Yeah.
first image with Pedro Pascal. They invested a lot of money into it. It's from the director of Chernobyl, who did that mini series.
Oh
Is
no, that's it's gonna
That's
be
the
pretty
guy
good
who's
then, I
helming
think.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a pretty good
Chernobyl is
director.
it's an excellent TV show. Have you
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
it?
No, I
Actually?
have seen it. Yeah. No, it was
Yeah,
very
no.
well done.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, no,
Mm.
there's a lot of talented people working on this series. I think there's still some people are skeptical can really, I don't know. I think HBO invested a lot of money into this. Everyone, I don't know. There's a lot of faith being poured into this property. A lot of talented people. So it'll be interesting to see if it all really comes together. Because who knows? We could have one of the best TV shows, you know, of the decade potentially coming here, or we could
Yeah.
have something mediocre. I don't think it will be like terrible. I can't imagine it ever being terrible considering the talent involved. But it could be a misfire. But it also could be something really good. Um, so My Policeman, uh, a movie that is known basically only for having Harry Styles, but also has Emma Corrin and David Dawson in the cast. It's supposed to be some kind of mystery romance movie. It's going to be released on Prime Video November 4th.
Oh boy.
Apparently he plays I think there's word that Harry plays a bisexual character, or at least someone who's bi-curious, if I remember
Mm.
correctly. So, I don't know, there's a lot of interest
Now
in
I
the
have to
movie.
watch it.
Yeah, I know, right?
No, I'm
Exactly.
just joking.
um, but
Interesting.
I've heard that from a lot of people. There's also been more trailers released for Nope. Um,
Oh yeah, I've seen those.
what do you
Yeah.
think of them?
Uh, nope. No, I'm just joking. I'm actually really excited to see that. I think I like the whole aliens as a form of horror thing. I don't think we get to really see that as much as
Yeah.
we used to. I think it's really. I think the obviously the best examples are like the first Alien movie, or like if you want to count Aliens, but that's more of like a sci-fi action movie.
Yeah, that's
But
more of an action movie, which I like more,
yeah,
honestly, if I'm being
mm,
completely honest.
yeah, I like the Aliens a bit more as well.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Honestly, with these trailers, I'm getting a little less excited. Like I was excited for this movie. I think it's cool that it really feels like the first Jordan Peele film is going to be pretty epic in scale. A lot of good
mm,
amount of CGI being used. Hoyt van Hoytman's the cinematographer. He's worked with Christopher Nolan on all of his recent movies, which have all looked great. And I love Daniel
mm,
Kaluuya. I think Kiki Palmer is a very talented actress. Also Stephen Yeun, but I've only seen Stephen Yeun in the exact same shot, so I'm a little worried he's not going to get the screen, even though he is like top three build, so I'm assuming he's like the third most prominent cast member besides Kaluuya and Palmer. But
yeah.
I don't know. I'm hoping he
So
gets some cool stuff to do in that movie because I've only seen that one
that's the
image of
two.
him.
Yeah, he needs
Um,
more live action roles. I mean, he's phenomenal. I've heard he's phenomenal in Invincible, but like, live action roles, he's really just limited to The Walking Dead. So, I mean,
well,
from what I can tell,
he was in Burning, which
I
was
am
very
burning.
good.
Yeah. Oh, but
But
then what's that Oscar-winning movie that just came out where he's
Minari,
nominated? Minari, yeah, but I mean, like
yeah,
most people do know him from The Walking Dead
yeah,
still, right?
no, for
So, I mean,
sure.
it'd be nice. He just needs to continue breaking
Yeah,
out
I'm
from
yeah,
that.
I'm hoping
So,
he gets yeah, I'm really hoping he gets like a juicy role to show that like he is a movie star that,
mm,
who should probably get his own bigger movie, I'd say. Like he
yeah,
should be the lead
no,
of
he should.
something this big.
Yeah.
Um, Ezra Miller, I don't know if you heard about him being a piece of shit.
I think you
But
mean them. No, I'm sorry. I don't give a
oh,
shit
my
about. I
bad.
don't give a shit about their pronouns. Why they're like actively like trying to like molest kids. That's fucked up, man. That's not
It's
cool.
yeah, I
Yeah, that's
he
disgusting.
yeah, that guy's been doing all. Yeah, it came from first like one report of him kind of like drunkenly berating someone, and it's just gone downhill from that. Him like supplying LSD and alcohol and marijuana to
Hmm.
minors, and now he has like a
Yeah,
protective order against him, and it's just that guy. mm,
nah, it's all fucked up.
it's
Honestly,
and they were trying to
it's
relaunch
it's so disappointing.
DC
Honestly,
with him with the Flash, kind of with like restarting things with Michael Keaton and everything. I don't know how they're
what the
gonna do
fuck are
that
they gonna
now.
do now?
I don't
I
know.
don't know. Yeah,
It's
like
like
the DCU is such a mess at the moment. I'm sorry, they just chose
yeah,
all the wrong people
it's
to
true.
do it. I think it's
Yeah.
also like Warner Bros. As a whole is a bit of a mess right now.
Yeah, I think
So,
the only good thing they have is James Gunn. They're giving him a check to do some stuff, I think. And
I
that's a
want to see
good
more
check to
Peacemaker.
spend. Yeah, more
Yeah,
Peacemaker, maybe some other series, maybe a feature film I saw. A bunch of that kind of stuff is in the works. But yeah,
yeah,
Ezra Miller's part of two franchises that are frankly quite screwed at this point with
yeah.
Fantastic Beasts and
Yes,
Flash and all
such a
that.
stupid franchise.
It,
I'm sorry,
I yeah.
Fantastic Beasts is the worst Harry Potter related thing since The Cursed Child. Okay, I
No, The Cursed
cannot.
Child is for sure not as bad.
I don't
It's
know,
really
just like
not.
but it's all unnecessary stuff
Yeah,
though. Why
yeah, yeah.
couldn't we have? I look, I know they're trying to make money because it's a huge.
Oh yeah.
That franchise is huge, but
And
at the
it's not
same
making
time,
money anymore. That's the
If
thing,
there's
though.
not a story to tell, why do you need to pump out
Yeah,
something?
there
Like
was
fucking
the
like the movie
plot
we're about to talk
progression.
about. Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
like none. There was no plot. I saw the
Exactly.
third one because a bunch of friends wanted to see it while I was in BC. Literally no
Mm.
plot progression at all. I I could keep up enough with everything that was happening, even though I only had like parts of the second one described to me. It's like, man,
Yeah. Yeah, no,
kind of
it's pretty
struggling.
ass. I'm not gonna lie, man. But and it's just it annoys me because like they took, like 30 plus years to tell a second Top Gun story because they actually had a story they wanted to tell by that point, which
Yeah,
what I
yeah, no,
respect.
no,
That's
it
fine.
makes a
They
lot
could
of
have
sense.
capitalized it on in the 80s and made a shitty sequel, and then they probably would have forgot about Top Gun. But because they waited so
Yeah,
long, we got something truly amazing, which we're gonna go
yeah,
into more depth about later. But like, I wish they would just take their time
mhm,
a little bit more, and they could actually make something decent again. Like for fuck's
yeah,
sake, man. Then it doesn't help that fucking J.K. Rowling's like a turf and she hates like trans women and stuff like that. That's not great either.
yeah, not
No,
great.
so not a
Yeah,
great franchise to look at the
not
moment.
yeah. J.K. Rowling has died on a number of hills. She should not be trying to. Yeah, I don't know what she's trying to do there.
Yeah,
Yeah, like that is something I'd say is unanimous about Tom Cruise. Despite what anyone might think about his Scientologist shit, he
he
actually,
may be crazy, but he
but
knows what
he
good
gives a
movies
shit.
are.
No, but he
He
gives a
does
shit.
give a shit
He
about
gives a
cinema.
shit. He gives a shit
Yeah,
about what he
that
is
crazy
involved
little
in.
man.
That can't be said for a
Tiny,
lot of other people in this industry.
exactly. Tiny
Um,
Tom Cruise really gives a shit about
he
cinema.
gives a
Honestly,
shit. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. All
Um,
right. Well, we've been talking a lot
it's
about that.
true.
Or before we get into the movie, do you want to? Have you seen Kenobi yet? I should ask that.
Oh yeah, I have. I have seen Kenobi.
I'm slightly disappointed if I'm being honest. I want
Yeah,
to see more
like
Hayden Christensen. I'm
yeah,
sick of like the baiting they're doing. It's really pissing me off. I want to see some Clone
yeah,
Wars stuff with him. That's all.
yeah.
That's all I want.
Yeah. I don't. It's. I don't know what they're. I don't know how they're like. They're probably gonna do one big duel for the
I hope
finale. Like,
so. I think the
and
fight that he had with Vader and Obi Wan was actually pretty good. I like that. That's the best part of the show
it
so
was
far.
pretty brutal. Yeah, I'd say it was
Yeah.
well done. Like,
He held him over a fire and
yeah,
started roasting him like a
yeah,
pig. It was
yeah.
pretty
It's
crazy.
kind of yeah, like yeah, and I don't know. It's a little weird how they're like kind of contrasting when Obi-Wan is literally just getting the shit kicked out of him, and then when in this newest episode he's able to, kick the shit out of others. But then he was also able to kind
I
of
mean,
make
they
a
are
point. I mean, they are
stormtroopers, though.
stormtroopers, but like
Most
he's
inept
also
fucking.
able to
No,
like
yeah.
outsmart the Inquisitors pretty easily. But I mean,
Yeah,
obviously
but
It's Darth Vader, of course, but
she actually outsmarted them though
yeah,
because
yeah,
she
yeah,
put
yeah,
a
yeah. The
tracker droid in.
tracker. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
the
I saw
droid.
so many people on IMDb complaining about this newest episode. I disagree with them entirely. I
It's
think the
fine.
pilot was maybe the worst episode, probably.
No, you're
Especially
not wrong.
that chase
Because
scene
nothing.
with Leia was maybe honestly one of the maybe the most embarrassing scene I've seen come out of Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I would have just did like two big strides and picked her up. I'm sorry. There's no way you
Exactly.
should
Yeah,
be.
there's
Like,
no
come
way
on,
that
man.
we get Leia as like a
Uh,
force child and everything, but she's still a
yeah,
child. Like, I
yeah.
don't know what you're
No,
trying to
she's.
prove there. Like,
Yeah, I
I think
know.
that's
It's just.
another, and like sometimes people complain about her
Yeah.
dialogue and how she sounds more like an adult. I don't like. It's obviously tough to write and direct
Yeah.
children, but
I will
like
say though,
I don't think they're doing
I
a
like
bad
the
job.
actress.
Yeah,
I
she's
like the
doing
actress's
fine.
young Leia though, and I don't think that people should be attacking her
Yeah.
as well. I think that's really messed up. That we just Star Wars fans have not learned from their mistakes. Like they just
It's
forget what they
true.
did to Jake Lloyd. They're
Yeah.
doing it again. They're also being racist towards Moses Ingram, which isn't
Yeah.
great. I get that
It's
she's not the best villain, but at the same time,
Yeah, it's not
that's
like
not okay.
she's not Darth Vader, but like I don't
Yeah,
it's like I don't know, people's like so many reviews I see it's like I'm not racist, but
yeah.
she's
Every time
bad.
someone
It's
says
like
that,
and I'm like she's a
yeah,
professional actress. She's like I don't know. Like what do you expect? This is Star Wars. Like I don't know
yeah,
like I don't know. Apparently every black woman needs to give an Academy Award winning performance in order to be a decent Star Wars actress or something. I don't is
yeah. I
nuts.
know.
I don't. It's like, is it just a coincidence that every minority women character ends up getting a bunch of hate? It's like, oh no, it's because the quality of their stuff is worse in general. It's like it can't be that at all. It's
No, yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
and
I
that happened
agree.
with Miss Marvel as well. There were so many other people complaining about that show, and
I
I'm
actually
like,
I saw the first episode. I didn't think it was too bad. It's definitely not,
yeah,
your typical MCU stuff, but I mean,
sure,
it seems like it's like they're trying to go for more of a coming of age story, which I
yeah,
respect. It's something different,
yeah,
I
yeah,
like that.
yeah, and like,
Yeah.
but there was just again so many people like hating on that. It's like whenever like you go into it seems like whenever a minority woman goes into a territory, shows that were written by, white men that end up catering very much to white men, and yeah, and then but then they grew up with it, and all of a sudden now they're,
Yeah.
they're actually, making these universes a little more diverse. They're like, oh, this is not my Star Wars. This isn't my Marvel. And it's just
Yeah.
like, fuck out of here. You've had,
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
yeah, no one cares
If
what
it's
you
good,
think.
it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
And I
I
wouldn't
mean,
say
yeah.
Moses Ingram's amazing, but she's a good
No, she's not,
actress.
but
She's like,
yeah.
it's not nearly her best role, but she's a good actress. She does fine. I don't understand the complaints about her at all.
Yeah.
There are many other things to complain about in that show. She's not
Like
really
the
good.
fact that the fucking guy who plays the Grand Inquisitor didn't even bother to watch fucking Rebels, man. I mean, I get that Rebels is a drag, but come on, like you gotta
Mm.
at least like look at the
I mean,
episodes
he
with
also
Jason
played
Isaacs.
in one episode, right? So,
Oh my god, well,
I didn't
two,
know that Jason
yeah,
Isaacs was the voice of that character, and
I know, right?
he's
I mean,
such an
high
underrated actor,
profile.
honestly, in my opinion.
He is,
Like
yeah.
he,
He's done. I like him as Draco Malfoy is pretty good,
yeah,
to
yeah.
be
I
honest.
saw him in this indie movie called Mass that was getting a lot of acclaim last year,
Yeah.
finally, and he was fantastic. Honestly, that guy needs
Hmm.
some better roles. So I
I
hope he
think
gets
he
some.
should. I kind of wish that they got him as the Grand Inquisitor. To be honest, I mean, like I
Yeah.
get it. Maybe it wouldn't be practical, but with enough makeup, he could probably make it
Oh, for
work.
sure.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah. I'd say so.
yeah, yeah. Because
Um,
I wasn't the biggest fan of what they did with him. But
yeah,
anyways, that's beside the point. We can
yeah,
move on if you would like.
yeah. I'm gonna quickly mention though that Joker 2 is happening with Joaquin
Yeah,
Phoenix.
I saw that. I was like, what the fuck, man? Why? Like,
I
can we
know
have just left it?
it's money, bro.
Really?
Money, bro. I don't know. Joaquin's not about money, and that's the only reason why I have a little more hope. It's like clearly like the
He likes the
executives at Warner
scripts.
Brothers, yeah, clearly the executives at Warner Brothers were like, oh, this is gonna be money. Clearly, Joaquin trusts Todd Phillips enough. I don't know exactly why personally, but like apparently he likes the script enough. Um, it's called the alternate title right now for the image that was released was Joker Folle Adu, which is a rare delusional disorder shared by two or more people. So I don't know. Apparently, maybe we're gonna get someone who has a
Harley
similar.
Quinn.
You think it's Harley Quinn?
Maybe. I mean, it's possible. Do you
Well,
I mean you can call me on that? Maybe it is.
maybe. That's.
If that's the case, then
I mean, it's not a
It'd
bad guess. I
be-
don't know. Margot Robbie's
yeah.
been very busy though with like she's doing
Well, they're not gonna get her
Babylon.
for
She's
that.
doing
Yeah.
probably not. Yeah, but that's
They
true.
probably get an
But
actress
yeah,
closer to his age, At least I
yeah,
hope
yeah.
they do.
That
We're
would.
kind of coming out of that age where like older guys get these like young, attractive women as their co-stars,
I mean,
right?
Margot Robbie isn't that young, if I remember correctly. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but
What
Joaquin
is
Phoenix
he?
is like pushing 50 though. He's almost 50 years old. So
Wait, let me double check. I'm just curious. What
I think
is
Margot Robbie is like 31 or something.
Joaquin Phoenix is 47, so you're Margot Robbie is 31. Yeah, okay, you're right. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. Um, yeah, I'm just like Margot Robbie's gotten a lot of work recently with Babylon coming out this year. She's doing the Barbie movie, being written and
Mm-hmm.
directed by Greta Gerwig, with Simu Liu as Asian Ken, which I'm looking forward to a
That would
lot.
be nice. Yeah.
Also,
Ooh.
and then Ryan Gosling, maybe hottest cast ever, mainly because of
Mm.
Ryan Gosling and Simu Liu. Not that Margot Robbie isn't also a very attractive woman, but those two,
Everybody's hot. Mm. Mm.
crazy. Anyways, yeah, I think we should probably start talking about
Top
our
Gun
two
Maverick.
movies. Do you
Do
want
you
to
want
talk
to talk
about
about Top
Top?
Gun Maverick first?
We can do that.
I kind of do, to be honest. I mean, like
Okay, cool.
I've seen Edge of Tomorrow quite a few times, but yeah. All
Okay,
right, let's get into this then.
sure.
Okay, so
Yeah, in
just
case
quick.
you live
Yeah.
under a
Oh, sorry.
rock,
Yeah.
I'll just read a quick premise of the movie. After more of 30 years of service as one of the Navy's top aviators, Pete Mitchell, well, they should have put Pete Maverick Mitchell, is where he belongs, pushing the envelope as a courageous test pilot and dodging the advancement to rank that would ground him. That's not a very good premise. That's it. That's all they have on
Yeah, it really
IMDb at
doesn't give
least,
away too much.
which
Yeah.
is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the other key part would be to mention. I don't know. We could just talk
He's
about this movie.
training his dead best friend's
Yeah,
son. That's
correct.
one part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That
Who, by the
is the
way,
other big part of
oh
this
my
movie.
goodness, oh my goodness, that beach scene had me and my friend Aaron like in stitches in the theater. Man, we were fucking. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it was. I almost did a wolf whistle, but I'm glad I didn't. I was embarrassed. Oh
yeah,
my goodness. Yeah, but anyways, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I think this is the best action movie I've seen in a while. I think doing shit
yeah.
practically really helps the overall look and feel
Oh
of
yeah.
your film.
No,
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm so glad they did this way. I'm glad Tom Cruise waited until it could be released to theaters because like IMAX makes this thing
Yeah, for
like
sure.
10 times better than it
Especially
would
the
have been on
sound,
HBO Max.
especially the
Oh
sound.
my
You
God,
really
yeah.
feel just the impact of those planes just going,
Yeah.
yeah, much
I
better
could
than you would
This
like
might
in
be
a
a hot
movie.
take, but I could see it getting best sound editing or best sound mixing, at least a nomination,
Oh,
you
for
know? I
sure. No,
think
no,
it,
that's not a hot take at
yeah,
all. I
yeah.
think it for sure gets that. And honestly, some people have speculated this has an outside shot at Best Picture depending on how the year goes because of just
That
how
is
much
true.
love it's gotten in general, getting
Well,
a great
like, wouldn't
action
it be
movie.
nice if, like, one of the biggest movies of the year, also a critical darling, actually won an Oscar? Like, when's the last time that's happened, man? Like,
I
think about
mean,
that.
Dune to some extent.
I
Like,
know, but I mean, like, Dune didn't like. I don't think Dune had nearly the amount of impact that this one has had, though. Dune was had a huge impact. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying
yeah,
it didn't have any
I was about
impact
to
at all,
say,
but like, I think this one has kind of just done a little bit more than that. That's
yeah,
all.
yeah. I think it's had like this year we've had some of the strongest word of mouth movies. I think, like, cause even just in my personal life, like I feel like I've talked to like mentioned this movie with like even my friends who aren't really big movie people at all. They're like, oh, like my like Chanuth, you know Chanuth, right? From
Yeah, I know what you mean.
he
Yeah,
mentioned the other day, it was like, oh, you want to go see Top Gun? And like the reason I knew I was gonna end up watching this movie is my dad's like one of his all-time favorite movies was the first Top Gun. So he of course went to go see this in IMAX with my brother when because I wasn't here when it first came out. But then of course he
yeah.
was down to go see it in IMAX again with me, because he enjoyed it. And
Mm.
I mean, honestly, that's what this movie like accomplishes so very well. Like it brings everyone who loves the first one what they want, while also creating a very interesting movie for those who are like new to like Top Gun.
Especially the
Um,
gays,
yeah,
because there's a lot of stuff in there for them. That's for sure. Same with the
yeah,
first one too, but they didn't know it at the time.
yeah, yeah,
That's for sure. Yeah, no, but it's oh my God. I think like the flight scenes are just like incredible.
yeah.
It's some of the best like aerial combat I think I've seen on film, and I've seen plenty of that. I think there's not too many. There's not a ton of prominent examples. I mean, like if you want to count the Star Wars movies, like we can put them in there if you want. But I think those are definitely a little. This is definitely like way better than anything Star Wars related. It's much better than the first one, and yeah, no, I was just so impressed. I was like incredibly immersed. Like even though I wasn't in like D box, I literally felt every turn they were taking. It was
Yeah,
insane how
no,
incredible
for
it
sure.
was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I, yeah, I had a lot of fun. This movie's definitely entertaining. Like, yeah, the action
Mm,
scenes, like, again, I honestly, I think I praise the sound the most. Like, you just really feel the impact of those planes as they're just whooshing by once they're taking off, and
mm,
just the power of those engines. And then, yeah, obviously coupled with the great imagery of, like, kind of actually seeing them in the planes and seeing the actual aircraft, flying through those mountains. It's like, yeah, I don't know, this is like a tense action movie, and I kind of like how it was kind of like a heist movie, honestly, because the kind of mission they were put on was kind of like a heist. It's like everything had to like be precisely done with this like specific
yeah.
route. It's like it's not as much of a war kind of movie because I don't know. In war, typically it's just absolute chaos. This was a very designed mission that they were all going to be on, but it was also clearly the mission that just had seemed impossible. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, it was really cool just to see how it all went down. And I think, and yeah, I think one of the most impressive things about this is that there's not a lot I think you can complain about in like terms of like how the how the action flows and like how the story flows. There's nothing like really stupid about it.
Mm.
Like it makes a lot of sense that Maverick would like do everything he
Do what he
does,
does.
and
Yeah.
then even when he gets shot down, it's like yeah, and
I
I'm
actually
glad that
thought I thought he died. I really thought they were gonna kill him off for a second there. I'm not gonna lie. They had me
yeah,
convinced, but then like we see him wake up, and I was like, ah,
yeah,
that would have been kind of that would have been interesting. But I don't
yeah.
think Tom Cruise is gonna let that
Yeah,
happen in hindsight.
I
So
don't think they were gonna let. I didn't think they were gonna let Maverick die off screen like that, really. So, and it was
yeah,
also
no,
cool to like see Rooster come back for him, and like the way they get off. I really like that solution. It's like, what do you do with these two characters now that they're stranded on the mountain? It's like, oh, just go to this
yeah.
airstrip that they kind of bombed, but then there's this old plane that no one cares
Which is the
about.
plane that it's literally the plane they flew in the original
Exactly.
movie.
Yeah, and that,
Yeah.
and that was yeah, see like this is I think a much better use of like and there's so many like kind of repeated moments with, Pete driving on his motorcycle while planes are taking off, how they basically recreated the opening shots of the first movie and like all the fan serve and like, singing all the classics and like having everyone in the bar singing Great is that this title of the song Great Balls of Fire or what is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like and just having all that like some of the best I think it's much better fan service honestly than at least I felt than like No Way Home. I
I
felt.
mean, I think
I
it was
think
fan service done just a little bit better. I will agree with you there. I
yeah,
mean, like,
I think
yeah,
it worked much better for like the overall movie and like the action again pretty like Tom Cruise really and like I'm trying to think of like someone else who's like done practical action this well recently. It's only like him and like George Miller who like is out here like actually blowing up planes and or like at least close to that. Oh, and Christopher Nolan. Those are the guys who are like actually like taking real planes, real vehicles, doing dangerous shit with them. And
yeah,
it's obviously most impressive for Tom Cruise because he's actually the guy in the in the planes, in the vehicles,
yeah.
with Mission Impossible and this. So,
Mm.
yeah, all that was, really exciting to see. And yeah, I think the drama of this movie works better overall. I think some of the like the theater I was in was pretty full, and there was a multiple moments where people were laughing, and it was like it wasn't perfectly tonally consistent because like they are kind of like I think the one I remember the most people laughing was when they're like when Pete is like when Maverick's asking Rooster why did you come back for me? He's like I don't remember exactly what they say, but that scene I think got the most laughs. But it's also like they're kind of stranded here, so it's like a bit of
Yeah,
a dramatic situation, but it's also kind of funny. So I don't know.
yeah. No, that's true. I mean, like, I could definitely you could definitely argue that, but I mean, I think like with a movie like this, you do need some comedic
Yeah,
elements in
yeah,
there,
yeah.
just because they weren't placed in the maybe the best part. I don't think it hurt the overall movie.
Yeah,
So,
no, for sure.
yeah.
I
Mm.
think like the acting I think is much better. There's only like I think one of the things about the acting in the first one is that like sometimes I think it was hard for them to get directed properly while they were in like the planes. And I think there was one moment where they're like one of the takes where one of the actors like says a line felt a little off to me. And I think it was again because they probably had limited time to like be in the cockpits. I feel like some of the acting isn't the best there, but I think the acting like on the ground in those scenes are definitely more interesting than the first one.
Yeah.
Um, and again, like the action just with updated technology just feels so much more impactful. And I like the stakes of this mission a lot more than like the first Top Gun, even though that's still an enjoyable movie. And the cinematography still just as good. I like how Joseph Kosinski decided to shoot this using a lot of the same techniques from the first one, using a lot
Mm.
of backlight to create like these really cool silhouetted shots. Tony Scott used that a lot in the first one. I noticed, even with like the scenes
Yeah.
of the characters, like the intimate scene with Tom Cruise and what's the other
Kelly
actor's name?
McGillis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
using a lot of silhouette there is like pretty smart, and a lot of the shots of the planes and stuff look really nice in that
You know
first
what I
one,
also
and
really
looks
liked,
pretty
which was
cool
like a
here.
smaller thing though? It was
Yeah.
like just a smaller thing I really liked. I like how they kind of like paid homage to the original at the beginning, where they just recreated the original opening scene, but with like
Yep.
the modern filming techniques now. I quite like that. Like it was just a small little thing, but it was like, oh my God, this is nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the type of movie this is gonna be.
Yeah, and like I
Mm.
don't know, there's just something about this movie as like even as like kind of a product being so like just as like a franchise kind of even though it's only two movies that like there's just something about it that I think it makes it really enjoyable and like in the music it just like it feels like a nostalgic movie.
Mm.
Even from someone who literally saw the first Top Gun the day before that. I feel
Mm.
I was like, man, I feel like I have lived 30 like, I've gone through 30 years. I feel like I'm
Mm.
reliving the moment I experienced yesterday, but I don't know, I
Yeah,
feel
the
like
good old
it
days.
feels longer than that, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
I
no,
think it
I know
does
what you
that
mean.
really
Yeah.
well. They execute that part of the movie really well, like with the use of music. But then
Yeah, I
also
think
I think they
I think
use
yeah.
it
Yeah.
for like better
Sorry.
dramatic purpose to like really make to try to really nail the intensity of these scenes and along with
No, you're
like
not
just
wrong.
of
Yeah.
course some amazing action really makes those scenes enjoyable and
Well, I think it definitely helped that what's his name, Harold Flattermeyer. He did the original theme for Top Gun. He had the assistance of Hans Zimmer this time around to help him create some more dramatic beats, which I think was
yeah,
a pretty smart move to be honest. And then
yep,
Lady Gaga actually helped write a lot of the music as well. And then she had that I think pretty good like ending song. I think
yep,
I've definitely it's definitely one of the better movie songs I've heard in the last like 5 years. There hasn't really
yep.
been too many of the good ones. I think the only one I could really say which is pretty decent is like Billie Eilish's one for No Time to Die. I think that was all
which
right.
which did win the Oscar and
It
as I
did, yeah.
expect
Maybe this one will have a chance too.
I think
So
this, yeah, definitely has a shot. I think it'll be not. I honestly, I expect this new Top Gun to get most of the same nominations as the last one. Like the first one, I think won sound editing, got a nomination for just film editing, sound
yeah,
mixing, and song. Oh no, the only one it won was song. It got nominations for like the sounds and
yeah. One
editing.
for Take My Breath Away
Yeah.
for Berlin.
Honestly, I think its best chance of winning an Oscar would probably be sound editing, at least in my personal opinion. Well, actually, it's
Hmm.
just sound
Yeah.
now. So I don't know, it might be a little bit tougher. I don't know. Like it's going up against, well, in sound, maybe Avatar. I don't know exactly else might be
The
competing there,
Avatar 2
but like
trailer dropped. I completely forgot about that. Yeah.
yeah.
Interesting.
But and it'll be going
Yeah.
for song. It probably won't win editing. It honestly might have a little bit of a tougher time, especially recently. They've a lot of editing nominees have just been like Best Picture nominees, which, something like this I think deserves an editing nomination. Just
It does.
the
I
amount of
100%
effort
agree with
to
you.
keep these action scenes consistent and like
Yeah, no,
obviously
no.
I don't think they're not working with all the coverage in the world when they're dealing with all these shots of planes, so these
Yeah.
jets. So I think what they
Yeah.
were able to pull off here was very impressive, and the
Mm-hmm.
pacing of the movie is also just really well done. It's never really dull. Even the scenes that are with people, again, there's better drama and better acting, but they're also they don't drag. I think as much as some of the scenes in Top Gun I think drag a little bit for me, but in Maverick, I think they're improved in that category for sure.
No, I definitely agree there. Well, do you have anything else you want to quickly say about this movie, or should we give it a score?
I'll quickly. I want to quick. I think like I mentioned, I liked looking through some of the IMD trivia bits that people put
Hmm.
up. Like one of them was the World War II P-51 Mustang scene in this movie is actually Tom Cruise's own airplane. He's
I
an
figured it was
accomplished.
something like
Yeah,
that. That
yeah,
makes sense. Yeah, no, he's a fucking flying nut. He
yeah.
loves to fly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I remember I saw this one review. I don't know if it was Miles Teller who said it, but it's like the stuff that people, the stuff that Tom does for fun, other people would probably consider their own personal hell, which is kind of funny. Um,
I think. Do you think I hate to bring up the Scientology part because I know we could get sued, but
yeah.
I mean, I just want to quickly say, like, do you think maybe he takes so many risks like this because he believes his soul is going to be transferred into another body? Because that's what Scientologists believe, isn't it? Like, they're like their soul is like an ancient alien being's soul that transferred into their body at some
Yeah,
point in
I
time.
mean maybe. I also think he probably has like people. They've scanned people like I remember what was it? Oh man, the climbing movie, the one where he free solo.
Mm.
Like they looked at that guy's brain. He climbed Mount El Capitan without a harness. Guy's insane. kind of has that same energy as Tom Cruise, except I don't think he would ever yell at anyone like Tom Cruise has. I don't know if you remember
Yeah, but I
that.
mean, Tom Cruise's outburst was justified, though. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, no,
I hate to say that it was
yeah,
like he really like they really gotta. He
no,
wanted to make that movie so bad,
yeah,
and those people were like so close to fucking it up, right? You
yeah,
know,
no, for
it was at
sure.
the
No,
time where
I
COVID was still pretty
understand.
big.
I understand for sure. And
Yeah,
yeah, like I think the fear like part of his brain is probably a lot lower than the average person's. I'd have to imagine. I'm assuming
probably.
Scientology has some part to do with it. Because I don't know, you don't really like, most Christians believe, pretty much all Christians should believe that like, that when they die they're going to heaven if, if they have faith. So it's like, but you
Mm.
also don't really see many of us doing. You're also not really supposed to be stupid. You're supposed to do the most with this life. And I'm not saying Tom Cruise isn't living. I mean, shit,
I mean, he's
he's doing
definitely
a
lived more
lot.
than most people.
Exactly, he's
Yeah,
doing
and
a lot,
he's
man.
almost 60 as well, which is the crazy
And
part.
yeah,
Like he's
like
doing all this at 60 years old.
yeah, I mean, if he really cares about film, I'd like to I'd like to hear exactly why he cares about so much about film, like what he means to like believe. Cause like I don't know, if he really thinks that like making these movies like just makes people's lives better, I don't know, it's all good.
Well, I mean,
I really
I think I
like
can answer that actually. He has
yeah,
said multiple times that, like, like he's not a classically trained actor. We know this, and
yeah,
but he did grow up moving around a lot. And the one thing that kind of kept him grounded always was going to the theater with his family. He saw a lot of the classics at a very young age, right? Like, I think he did some speech at the 2002 Oscars. It was like right after 9/11, and he was like talking about how he saw Jaws, and then he just wanted to see more, and then like. When he got his first acting job, he tried to learn as much about every single process of filmmaking as he could in case he never made another one. And then from there, he's pretty much hooked, right? So, I mean,
yeah,
it
yeah,
kind of, he just has this passion for movies, you know? Like, I think you and I both consider we have a passion for movies, but I think this guy's passion is just on another level. And I have to really
yeah,
say, I don't agree with all of his beliefs, but I give him shit for it, right? And
yeah,
his height. But I really admire his passion for movie making.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, he's really one of the like people have said this like a lot. I watched what's it called Caravan of Garbage, a couple weeks ago, and they were talking about how like Tom Cruise is maybe one of the last like true movie stars of this
yeah.
generation, and I have to say I really agree with that sentiment. To be honest, I mean I don't know what you think about that, but
Yeah, like I don't know. I think there is this idea of like the old idea of the movie star dying. I think it's just and that's
mm.
somewhat true. I think it's being recreated for sure.
Now you just
And
need
like
big ensemble pieces. There's not really any one person that draws a ton
yeah,
of people to the
yeah,
movies. I mean, like even The Rock is like, he's his star is like sort of waning. He needs a little bit more support these days, right?
yeah,
So
yeah. And it's like
yeah,
I don't know. I think it's because there's just so many more, and I think it's mostly a good thing. There's just so many more actors out there of all like more diverse actors doing
mm,
more properties. Like Marvel's doing more shows and movies than ever. And Star Wars is trying to follow that. Disney's trying to do like use all their IPs to create all sorts of shows, and everyone's
yeah,
kind of trying to follow that. Which obviously, with just so much more out there, it's harder to like stand out so much that you're like, yeah, I'm gonna make this movie because I'm me, and people are gonna see it because I'm just that, I'm that guy. Like, cause
yeah.
even
Well, I
like,
think Tom Cruise having that vibe definitely is warranted.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
given us some great
like,
movies.
yeah,
Hopefully, next to Days of Thunder
yeah,
sequel. We'll see.
he was that for sure. I don't know, like he is
Yeah.
still writing off. Like obviously these franchises were kind of launched by him, Top Gun and like Mission Impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because like I think something like Edge of Tomorrow kind of shows that like he himself, like I don't know if anyone can truly carry a movie like carry an own original movie on their own like as like the biggest actor by far in that movie kind of thing. You kind of
Mm,
always need another star, I think, to kind of get something financed like these
mm.
days. But or and obviously there's been a lot of crazy ensembles for a bunch of movies recently as well.
Oh
But
yeah, that's for sure.
yeah, he kind of founded that and he's still kind of riding that wave. Um, and yeah,
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing at all that this kind of
No, I don't.
generation of
I don't
star is dying,
either.
but it's obviously cool to see someone who has such a passion for film, who's been able to put it into action so much, specifically
Mm.
action for Tom Cruise.
Yes. Yeah,
um,
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I just want to go. Yeah, I'll keep going through some of the trivia things. Like, so Miles Teller said that the cast got to choose their own call signs. He chose Rooster because it was the same family as Goose.
Mm.
which is pretty cool. It also kind of reminds me of one of the. Honestly, I think I had the biggest issue with a character like I don't know. It felt like they kind of repeated Iceman, but then with Hangman a little
Hangman.
bit, a lot. Like I felt
Yeah.
like I think the characterization of the characters other than Maverick could have been a little bit better.
Oh yeah, I
I
almost forgot about that part. Yeah, no, speaking of Iceman, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I think it
oh
was kind
yeah,
of cool. It was nice they brought Val Kilmer back,
yeah,
even
yeah,
because
yeah,
he has a lot of, he's throat cancer,
yeah.
right? It was cool that they worked that in there.
Mhm.
And I think they paid great respect to him, because
Yeah,
I mean,
no. Yeah.
he has been through
Yeah.
hell
Yeah.
recently, right? So he
Yeah.
deserves all the love in the world.
Yeah. And
That's for sure.
yeah. Rest in
Mm.
yeah.
He's not actually dead,
No.
just his character, but just
No, I
hopefully we don't forget that. Yeah. Are you about to say rest in peace, Iceman?
oh yeah.
Is that what you're gonna say?
Well,
Oh,
a
okay,
little bit,
okay.
yeah, just the character. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's
Mm.
just that he also had document like someone put together a documentary of a bunch of footage he took of himself as well. So I know like
Yeah,
obviously he's not passed
I
away,
heard
but I
about
don't
that one.
it's yeah, but I don't know. He's clearly coming closer to the but yeah, it was cool that they were able to work him to the movie like this. It was nice.
Mm.
But
Yeah, it was nice.
I do maybe my issues with the movie surround like Hangman in that I think he represents Iceman a little too much, and then like Rooster becomes kind of like the new Maverick a little bit.
Oh yeah.
They go through some very similar arcs, and the other character, like the other pilots, don't. I think they could have written them a little more interesting. Like
Hmm.
because I don't think this movie would maybe suffer too much if it was a little bit longer if they add a little more character to these characters, maybe, or at least maybe expand on their relationships a bit more. Like I think the relationship
Yeah.
between Rooster and Maverick could have been expanded a little bit more. Um,
Yeah.
Also, the action part I liked the least was kind of the ex machina when it seems like they're gonna get shot down and Hangman saves them. Because while they set up that Hangman was like in a plane, like a jet on the airstrip, I would have liked to see him take off, and maybe we forget about him, but then we remember, oh, he took off instead of just him being grounded on the airstrip. But
No, true, but at the same
anyways,
time, I think it was a good character moment because like throughout the whole movie, we saw that he was kind of like he didn't really have his teammates' best interests at heart. He was just out for himself. But it was
yeah,
cool that he kind of got a slight redemption. He wasn't obviously he's not the villain, but he was a bit of a
yeah,
selfish character. It was nice to see him come full circle.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Character development. It's like poetry. Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
And I think we've talked about this a lot, but it's at the insistence of Tom Cruise, there are minimal green screen CGI aerial shots. Even
Thank
the close up
God.
the cockpit shots, they put cameras in the jets.
Yeah,
Um,
they had to teach the actors how to
yeah,
operate them.
they
Yeah.
had to. Much of the cast has to undergo that extensive G-force training sessions to withstand the physical demands. Because I don't know, it's a little bit hard to film. Like, I think there could have been a little more sound design, maybe trying to expand on how much because I'm sure like just based on how they were describing it, it's just like how much G-force just like goes at like just how much it affects, especially your brain. And
Hmm.
I think there could have been a little more to do than that, just than to film the actors with their like kind of scrunched up faces from the impact they're clearly facing. But
Yeah.
um, that yeah, still very impressive, obviously. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, the actors playing the pilots had to film themselves while they were in like the jets, and they also had to touch up
Yeah,
their own
I
makeup,
just
adjust their own lighting, and handle their own sound. So like, I don't know. I guess the director kind of had to teach them how to like direct themselves, right? Because then
it's interesting. Yeah.
Joseph Kosinski, the director, would have to wait on the ground for hours sometimes to come back with the footage, and then they'd have to make adjustments, and then they'd go back up for more takes. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a really unique way they had to make this movie, but it came together very
It,
well, I'd say.
yeah, it definitely makes sense why they took so long,
Yeah,
but I get it.
yeah.
Good product in the end. But anyways, let's get on to Edge of Tomorrow. Let's just give
Oh.
this movie a score real quick, though, eh?
I
What would you
do
give
have a
it?
couple more trivia notes
Oh, you
about
got a
it.
couple more? Okay, all
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Let's see what's up.
Yeah. It's
All
just
right,
like
all
so.
right.
Tom Cruise like personally designed the
Uh,
3 month aviation training that all the actors had to go through, which I
oh,
thought was pretty
really?
cool. And
So he really
also,
was in character the whole time.
yeah, yeah,
Interesting.
pretty much, yeah.
Mm.
And also the roof of the shack next to Ed Harris, in the scene where Maverick flies his path, um, that was not supposed to come off. That was not supposed to be
Really?
lifted. But that was pretty much their only chance to shoot it, so they just kept it. But I think it worked
I
really
think it
well.
works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, one last thing about the shirtless beach football montage is it actually had to be shot twice because Tom didn't find the first version good enough, and the reshoot placed additional pressure on the actors to get their ripped bodies back to reshoot the scene. Glenn Powell recounted, "We shot it, and that night we all went for milkshakes and tater tots, just like Splurge. And everyone grabbed a beer. And a week later, Tom's like, "We got to shoot it again. It wasn't good enough. We're gonna shoot it again." And then everyone's back in the gym again, day and night. The sequence is being used heavily to promote the movie. After a similar scene in the original film became iconic and an audience favorite. The original
Mm.
film showed an intense beach volleyball game. So, kind of just like recounting how, everyone had their cheat day after they thought the scene was done, but then Tom's like, "No." Just basically punish them for doing that. He's like, "Nah, it's not good enough.
That's
We gotta go
tough.
again." But
Yeah. Definitely
yeah,
worth it. I mean, like I saw them
yeah,
working out on the beach and like behind the scenes stuff. It was interesting. There's
yeah.
yeah,
All
pretty cool
right.
stuff. Yeah, anything else?
No. What do you want to give
Great.
this?
It's a tough one because I don't want to give it too high of a score, you know, but at the
Yeah.
same time I want to. I don't know. I don't know if you know what I mean. Like it just it feels so right. I want to give this like an 8.5 or a 9, something like that.
Okay.
It was I had such a good time with this movie.
Yeah. No.
So worth the experience, that's for sure. And yeah, it made sense to go see it in IMAX too. I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I splurged a little bit more to
Yeah.
pay money
No.
for IMAX.
No. The IMAX I think was for sure worth it. I didn't splurge as much because I went on a Tuesday when it's like they keep the prices for everything on Tuesdays the same. So it was the same as like the half off like standard admission ticket, which is
Oh,
really
that's
nice.
nice. Yeah, I should have gone on Tuesday, but scheduling conflicts, right? So I had to
Yeah.
plan that out. But what do you
Yeah.
give this movie?
Personally, I gave it a 7. I really like it.
Only a
Only a
7.
7.
Modest.
Look,
Back to
I
this
look,
shit. Oh my goodness.
look. I honestly, I
Uh,
think I don't know. I think I might have become even more of a snob even after like I haven't watched that many movies in the past year because I've been like away at BC. Kind of, we had a media policy there, kind of trying to disconnect us a little bit, try to really get us to connect with the community and the students that we had there.
mm-hmm.
But honestly, I think it's made me more of a snob. I'm not even gonna lie, but like 7 like I really liked it. Like it's like it's not a plot or characters or you know
Yeah.
that I'm like or cinematography that is like, man, this is some of the best things I've
Mm-hmm.
seen. But like obviously like I said, there's no denying the action's like amazing. I have a lot of praise for it. But yeah, I think I'm gonna stay with a 7. But no, I
Do you see my disappointed sunglass face? This is what I think of you right
yeah,
now. Oh damn it, man.
look, no.
You're writing
Yeah,
checks
yeah.
your body. Your ego's writing checks your body can't cash. Okay, sorry, I'll take these off. All right.
No, it's all right. No,
There we
I'm
go.
glad like
All right.
if you
Man.
enjoyed it to the like I enjoyed it a lot, and like I have a feeling we
Yeah.
maybe enjoyed it similar. If you like, I'm just glad you had a really good time with it. I
Yeah,
also
no,
had a
no,
really
no.
good time with it. But
Well, as long as you had a good time with it, that's
yeah,
good.
I had
That's
a good
good.
time.
Yeah, that's
Um,
what's important.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow, another Tom Cruise movie. We didn't even mention. Well, so Joseph Krasinski directed the first one. So this movie was also had a screenplay by Christopher McQuarrie, who also worked on the screenplay for Top Gun Maverick. He's
Mm-hmm.
worked with Tom Cruise on a
Tom
bunch of
Cruise a
things.
lot.
He's
Yeah.
also been a writer and director of the Mission Impossible films.
Yep.
Um, but anyways, so this was directed by Doug Liman, written by Christopher McQuarrie, Jez Butterworth, John Henry Butterworth. Stars Tom Cruise, Emily Blunt, and Bill Paxton.
Yes.
Simple premise: a soldier fighting aliens gets to relive the same day over and over again. The day restarting every time he dies. Kind of like another movie you might have heard of,
Groundhog Day.
Palm Springs. Yeah, no, of course, Groundhog Day, of course. Yeah.
Well, Palm Springs is good too,
Palm
but yeah,
Springs is a good
no.
movie. Um, yeah, I don't know. I wrote an actual. I didn't really write. What did I even write about Top Gun Maverick when I logged in my letterbox? Because I think I wrote a lot more for this movie. Because I think I don't know. With Top Gun Maverick, I was like, I'm just gonna enjoy this. Oh, I did say that I think Top Gun Maverick, it's kind of enough to make a grown man cry. I will say that. That was my main thought after coming out of it. I almost shed a tear.
Mhm.
Almost a little
Yeah,
bit. That's what I was kind of saying with like how the nostalgia stuff feels, and
yeah.
yeah, I think I said everything else I want to say in that. I did write a decent amount about it, but I think I was a little more critical of this movie overall, I'd say. But I wrote more about it for
You know,
sure.
I,
But
I definitely like I definitely don't like it as much as Top Gun Maverick, but I mean I think this is it's probably one of Tom Cruise's more underrated films. I mean like it did well overseas, but like domestically, like at least North America, like it didn't make as much money
yeah,
as I think many people thought it would, and as a result, it's kind of like flown under the radar in the years since its release. But
yeah.
I
I
think it's a
mean,
pretty fun time to be honest.
yeah, like it has a pretty
Yeah.
good IMDb score, like a 7.9. It has a solid Letterboxd
Yeah.
score 3.7. Like it definitely has its fans. It is probably just more of a lesser known proper like just movie overall. It's not really a property because I don't it didn't make enough money really to get a sequel of any kind.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, um, I don't know. I don't know where to start with this, but what did you think?
Well, I like the Groundhog Day premise applied to a sci-fi movie. Like, well, I mean, sci-fi action movie, I should say. That's probably more accurate. But
Yeah,
I thought it was really fun. I like the special effects. Like, it's 2014, right? So I mean, the special effects hold up pretty well today. I think
they're
there are
pretty
some
good.
moments where it's slightly janky, but for the most part, it's pretty good. I quite liked it.
Yeah.
I think Emily Blunt and Tom Cruise have good chemistry in the film. That's for sure.
See, I
And
don't know. Like
they're not
that's
exact. They don't try and push a romantic relationship though.
yeah.
Not really. Yeah, which I
Even
like.
though
It.
they
They're more
kind, but
like
they
just
do. That's the thing. I don't know. Like
some points. Yeah, but like it's not really shown on screen, which I don't mind.
yeah,
I kind of
like
feel like
I don't know. It always felt lukewarm to me. It wasn't like they were trying to go for a strictly, they're really good at just working with each other kind of vibe. But
uh,
there was always constant things of like, like it starts with the opening shot of Emily Blunt, which is a very kind of newer take on the traditional like how they showed the female star kind of thing.
yeah.
With like like even if it's a bit more modern with her being a little bit muscular, but just the lighting, the single of just her taking up most of the frame, just and the way it's
Hmm.
lit is like very reminiscent of the more older ways that it feels like almost every female star, especially like in the 50s and before that was filmed. So like
Yeah.
and those characters were always in a like a romantic context with the guy, the male lead in their movie. And while they hold off on that for the most part, they still do it. I don't know. I felt
Mm.
like they should have committed to one or the other. Either they're just really good at working together, really good friends,
Really
or
good
like
friends, or
really try to work this romantic angle into like and maybe make that part of some of the conflict a little bit, part of the
mm,
drama of this. But they that is kind of one of my and I don't think their chemistry is necessarily bad, but because of that, it felt like their chemistry was always kind of going back and forth between romantic and camaraderie kind of chemistry,
yeah,
which felt
yeah,
weird to me. And I don't think it was like just as strong as I've seen for like some other like because obviously the movie's completely on their shoulders, and for that I don't think they completely carry this movie to maybe where it wants to be for me at least.
yeah, yeah. Oh, well, that's fair.
Yeah,
That's definitely fair there. Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, I think I quite like the a lot of the shots in the film. They're also pretty good. I think the cinematography is one of the stronger aspects here. I think also the all the ways that Tom Cruise just dies are also like I think they're playing to a pretty good comedic effect, especially when he's doing push-ups and like you just hear him like his blood curdle as he's like ran over by that Land Rover when he's getting punished. Do you remember that scene? Do you know what I'm talking about?
yeah, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never really even chuckled at this movie. I'm not gonna. I
I
don't
mean, I
know.
don't think it's hysterical, but I think
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
it's decent, like that's all
yeah.
right.
I don't know.
Because you can't take yourself too seriously in a premise like this, right? I mean, guy keeps on dying over and over again, right? There's
Yeah,
bound to
a
be some
little
funny
bit. I don't
sides
know. I don't
about
know if the
that.
film's giving me enough to be like, oh, they're being like very self-aware. This is kind of like a silly premise the whole time.
I mean, you're not wrong. I think there's like Happy Death Day is a little bit more self-aware, but I mean, I think this one isn't like oblivious to how absurd it is as
Yeah,
well,
yeah, yeah. I think one of my biggest complaints is because for something that because it's a Groundhog Day scenario, something that repeats so much by design, I feel like we should have I feel like the characters like Palm Springs I think is like in some ways similar, like at least like I think it's closer to this in some ways because you have another character who's kind of like experiencing had experience in this movie, the time loop
Mm.
situation, and they have like that kind of chemistry. But I think Andy Samberg and Christian Milioti had much better chemistry in a movie like this, and also their characters were like I think they were like more interesting because like I don't know they were just I don't remember all the details about their characters, but I don't know like one of them what was one of them doing? One of them's trying to break up with their girlfriend that day because she's like just
Cheating.
complete and she's cheating and she's also a complete nuisance. The other one's like the burned out sister of the bride,
Hmm.
who's just really doesn't want to be there. And like and how they expand over their characters and their like kind of philosophies on how they view the situation that they're in was like more interesting than I think the characters you get here. Like and the thing is, like, so you get the idea of who Tom Cruise's character is, and I don't know, it's like a guy who should probably be a businessman, who then is like about to be sent into like close combat, which like into like the action, and his character doesn't want to do that at all.
Mm.
Um, first I don't know, it's like that's I think someone other than Tom Cruise definitely like I don't think he's the perfect casting. He's definitely not bad casting for this movie. I think there's like but there could have been better ones because honestly, just because of who he is, it's kind of hard for me to view him as someone who doesn't want to get right in the middle of the action, being
I feel like
calm.
real life Tom Cruise would kind of want to do this as well.
Exactly.
I'm
You
not
see,
gonna.
Tom Cruise like would
Oh, there's
never
aliens. I know
yeah, like
aliens. I'm
aliens,
Scientologist.
he'd be like,
Yeah.
yeah, he'd be like,
Oh man,
Give
my
me one of those
people.
suits, bro. I'm
Yeah.
going
No.
in
Exactly.
for sure." It's like a
No,
little
no, no,
hard for
no,
me to believe this man is like, for someone with that reputation, is trying to play a character who's like, who's basically, just kind of a scared little boy, kind of in
I
some
mean,
ways.
I do respect the attempt to play against type,
Yeah,
though.
like he's still like he does like play like they also kind of have that cocky pretty boy idea to him, at least in the beginning.
Mm.
Um, but and he
Then he's
does
humbled
that
real
well
fast.
enough. I don't know, like it might be more like his character from Jerry Maguire. I don't know. I don't know if that is a comparison at all. I haven't watched that movie, so maybe
I've
I'm
seen Jerry
just talking out of
Maguire.
my
It just
ass.
no, no, no. I've seen that movie. I would actually agree with you. I mean, a little bit in the beginning, but then like it kind of strays away from that. Like
Yeah,
obviously
yeah.
as the movie goes on, right?
Yeah, for
But
sure.
yeah.
And like the premise of like the way that day loop starts, I think is a little weak. Like it makes sense
Mm.
that the general's, he's pissed off and he wants to teach him a lesson. But then like who are they gonna get to like he's basically sending him on this like documentary propaganda thing. But then there's no I think it would have been nice at least see like he replaced him with someone else because apparently he just like is like fuck you. It basically sends him to die in some ways.
Mm. Yeah.
Um, and it's like I don't know. I feel like there should be maybe a scene like, cause I don't know. I feel like Tom Cruise maybe isn't upset enough. He like he does like ask like to get a call. I feel like he should have. I think a scene where he like talks to his commanding officer, who's like, yeah, no, you're this guy's in charge of you now, and he's telling you what to do. If he's sending you into the battle, that's what you have to do. And where he just kind
Yeah.
of has to like accept it instead of like kind of being pissed off all the time. And he like, but the only reason he gets to accept it is because he gets to relive it over and over again.
Mm.
Um, I would say like the set pieces and cinematography, like they aren't bad by any means. But I don't think they're not particularly memorable to me in any way. Um, and I don't know. It's and again another part of this, like these characters barely have any relationships just outside each other, which again I don't
Hmm.
think, and so I think that needs to be a super super strong one to like carry a movie like this, because like La La Land has a similar thing where they're like those characters don't really have. I don't know. It just came to mind that those characters don't really have any big relationships out of sight of each other in that movie, but their chemistry and like their relationship is just so strong it carries that movie to heights, which this movie really doesn't. Not even close, really.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think Emily Blunt's character could have been expanded on a little more. Could have
Yeah,
more.
we really only know like one thing about her, like that she led this big like the one human victory so far in
Yeah,
this war against the aliens, and
yeah,
that she may have that she was dating someone who she worked with previously and lost him, and that's why she's hesitant to go with Tom Cruise. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you remember that part? Do you know what I'm talking?
A
It's a little bit
little
of a
bit,
throwaway
yeah,
line, but
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I kind, yeah, it is a bit of a throwaway one, but I kind of remember it, and like, yeah, but
Mm.
it being a throwaway line is like, I don't, again, it's not enough. I don't know. The characters are kind of like Rogue One. Like, I don't know. This it had a lot of Rogue One
Rogue
vibes to
One.
me, honestly. Like, that's the movie I thought of when
I
watching
would say
this.
though, I feel like Rogue One is a lot better to look at though. Rogue One
Yeah,
is a
yeah,
visually
yeah.
stunning. Like I'm not saying the visuals in this movie are bad, but Rogue One is just on another level
I would
visually
agree.
speaking.
I would agree for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
And like again, like the characters and chemistry are like not the strongest points, and I think that's like Rogue One. And I thought it would the ending would be like Rogue One, but instead they're
Yeah.
gonna do it like I don't know. It doesn't completely make sense to me how that works, because like okay, they kill the Omega, so he doesn't reset the day, but then the what? So how
But the
he
timeline
lived?
gets reset again. Yeah.
Yeah, he lives because the Alpha's blood is on him again, but that's what caused him to repeat, but that's only because of the I don't know. I don't know how I think they should have just both died. It felt it just leaves more questions in that case.
Yeah,
And
no,
like
that's true. But I mean, I don't mind being like left with an ending that leads to a little bit more like
yeah.
questions. You know, not everything needs like a super like typo.
Oh no
I
no
will
no.
admit like it does lead to a little bit of like confusion like how does this work? But I think that's what they were going for, right? Because I mean like you don't think because like we think about the ending of
Yeah.
Inception, right? I'm not saying they're on the same level, but like if you think about Inception, we don't
Yeah.
exactly know whether or not that movie, like what happened with like his
Yeah.
kids, is like actually happening or not, and
Yeah,
that's
but
fine.
that
You know, like, we
makes
continue to question that
but
to
that
this
makes
day.
sense, right? That's a very good like which is it premise. I honestly kind of
Yeah.
want to slap you for bringing that up because honestly I don't think
Oh,
they're
come on,
like
man.
Inception's like ending like that is like it's more like Interstellar's ending where it's just like what the like because really
Okay, maybe
there's
Interstellar's a
like
bit,
there's a
but I'm just
logical
using.
yes or no to Inception. It's like is he still dreaming or is he not? We don't know. That I like that a lot. This one it's like how does the logistics of all this work at all? While in the world of
I'm
Inception, I
not
feel like
saying
it
that
makes
it's the
sense.
same thing. I'm just saying I'm not saying it's the same thing. I'm just saying I think that's what they're trying to go for,
Yeah,
right? And
and
that's what I'm saying.
yeah, and I'm gonna strongly say it doesn't work at all.
Okay, well, yeah, it doesn't work.
Yeah,
That's fine. I'm not trying to defend it or anything. I'm just saying
yeah.
I think that's what was happening. You know, that's all.
No, then
Yeah,
that's all good.
you're gonna
Um,
slap me. Ooh, I reached to that computer screen.
oh yeah,
Yeah, that's
that's
okay.
true. Yeah,
That's all right.
bring that Will Smith
That's right.
energy.
Oh my god.
Anyways, yeah, I
Anyway,
don't know. Yeah, like, and look, I am the last one who's like, oh, a ending needs to be tight and everything needs to be definitive because I like to
yeah.
interpret movies. But this isn't like interpretable. There's no like philosophical questions. It's the logistics of how the
How are they
movie,
both
how the
alive?
yeah, of how the world
Yeah,
of the how the rules of this movie world work, which are just I don't care about them. So
yeah.
I'm never gonna think about that again,
But then
honestly,
again,
after
I said
this.
earlier how like it has to be tied up into a bow. I am thinking like, it does lead to a lot of questions. So I think what they may have been trying to do is like they wanted to have a nice, happy Hollywood ending, but also leave the audience with some questions. Which you kind of got to do one or the other,
Yeah,
right?
I think they wanted a nice Hollywood ending. They also wanted the potential for a sequel because I don't really see the
Yeah.
audience question. I don't know. I haven't seen
I'm questioning how they're still alive. I don't get it. Like, how did this happen? Are they going to explain this more in the sequel? No, it's not going to come.
yeah,
No,
because
we're
it
never
didn't
going to
make
find
enough
out.
money. So
Didn't
it
make
was
enough money,
more of it.
unfortunately.
Yeah, it's more of a sequel. How does this movie thing like world thing kind of
But like, how
work?
would a sequel like really work though? Because like, didn't they like kill the aliens or something? Or?
Yeah, there'd have to be the aliens come back. I don't know. That I don't
Mm,
know if Christopher McQuarrie or the writers had any idea of a
yeah,
sequel, but I feel
maybe he's
like the
gonna come back to
studio.
Egypt tomorrow.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know if they.
Yeah.
I doubt Christopher probably
What if
would have
he?
done another movie. I feel like they
Uh,
probably would have left the premise open, maybe just to like.
What if they do it when
The
Tom Cruise
studio
is like
wanted
80?
that, so like I feel like it wasn't the
Yeah,
writer's decision. The studio probably just wanted it
yeah.
to leave the opening, just to leave the opportunity there in case this Tom Cruise Emily Blunt
In case they
action
could,
movie
yeah.
was a hit, which it wasn't. Um,
What if Tom Cruise is eventually going to come back to this when he's like 80 years old, like he did with Top Gun? Wouldn't that be something?
I mean, if anyone
That
would
would be
do
really
it, it
funny.
would be Tom Cruise. So
Tiny Tom Cruise. Woo!
yeah,
I gotta stop calling him that. I heard a Family Guy called him that
yeah.
once, and I can't
Honestly,
stop
like
thinking about that.
I think Robert Downey Jr. might have been better in this role. That's just my
Robert
personal
Downey
opinion.
Jr. Huh?
That's my
Interesting.
opinion. I don't know. He feels like the kind of he. I feel like he can play a guy who's like, I'm afraid of this kind of danger, kind of stuff. I want to sit on the
Yeah.
sidelines, kind of character, thinking he's
I'm
a little
still
bit
waiting
better
for
than
like his.
everybody.
I'm still waiting for like his next big project after the Avengers is now done. Though I mean, like it'd be nice to see some more like stuff. Like he did like one movie. It was like Judge in I think 2014 or something, which is pretty good. But
Yeah.
I would like to see maybe some more stuff like
I
that.
mean,
I
he's
mean,
gonna be in.
not Doctor Doolittle.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
come
gonna be
on.
in Oppenheimer. He's gonna be in the
Oh
Christopher
well, there's
Nolan
that.
Nolan
Yeah,
movie.
yeah. Yeah. How much screen time is he gonna get though? Because that cast is fucking packed to the
I think he
brim.
has one of the more prominent roles, but yeah, that cast is also. I think he'll have. Like, I think he might have a role that could have like a shot at supporting actor if it's like a well-written
I
and
hope
dramatic
so.
role.
Well, I
Um,
mean, it is Christopher Nolan. I mean, like it might not get like let's say Dark Knight level of reviews, but
yeah,
the basement is
yeah,
most likely like Interstellar or like let's say Tenet type of views, which still wouldn't be terrible.
yeah,
It'd still
and I
make a
think
decent
it'll
amount of money.
probably be a little more dramatic, being that's a true story about the guy who
Yeah,
made the nuclear bomb. There's obviously still the potential for big Nolan set pieces. But then I think it
yeah.
might be a little in a lot of scenes. I think that we might get a little more of a somber kind of drama, maybe a little more like The Prestige, more like grounded dramatic scenes.
Now the Prestige, that's a movie we should talk about on this channel sometime because I think it's one of his more underrated ones. It's a pretty
Yeah,
fun movie. I think
it's
it's a
pretty
pretty
good.
good drama.
It's pretty
Yeah.
good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, more
Um,
people need to talk about that, but it's like unfortunate. The Illusionist came out the same year as that one, and the only time every time
no
that
one
movie gets
remembers
brought
that
up,
movie. I barely remember.
I mean, I've
Was
heard
that
people
Edward
talk about
Norton?
like Edward Norton was in that one.
The
Yeah,
only reason I know it exists is because it was
it
nominated
came
for
out
a
the same
couple
year as The Prestige.
Oscars,
Oh,
and
it was
yeah, I think so. Or at least
interesting.
got some like like maybe some like guild nominations for like makeup or whatever or something like that.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah.
Would you
Um,
have anything else you want to say about Edge of Tomorrow?
no, like the direction overall, again, I don't think is too special. I think there's a reason. The director Doug Liman, he hasn't really done anything like that. He did his most recent movie was Chaos Walking with
He
Tom
also did
Holland and
the.
Daisy Ridley.
I heard that was a disaster. I
Which,
haven't seen
yeah,
that.
was he also did a pandemic movie called Lockdown with Anne Hathaway and Chiwetel Ejiofor, where they're trying to do a jewelry heist during the
Oh,
pandemic.
I didn't even know that movie existed. Is it out
Well,
yet? Or?
yeah, it was on HBO Max pretty much immediately. It wasn't that good. He also
Uh,
made he did another Tom Cruise movie, he did American Made, which
Pretty sure he also
was
did the. I think he did the first Bourne movie, didn't he?
he
Didn't he
did
do the Bourne Identity?
he did
Yeah, no,
Born
no.
Identity, which
Bourne Identity was pretty good. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, I haven't
I
seen
mean,
that.
it
I
led
haven't
to a
watched the
whole
Bourne
wave of
movie.
spy films. I mean, in the early 2000s with shaky camera. I think that's the one of the few movies that actually uses shaky cam to good effect, to be honest.
Okay.
So,
Well, I don't know. This guy,
yeah,
like, he's not a bad director, but I don't know.
it's a
I feel
competent
like
director.
he's average. Yeah, most of when he has a good script, he's competent. I feel like
Yeah,
when he has
yeah.
Chaos Walking, it's
And
yeah,
when he has Matt Damon, he is amazing.
nice. He's
Yes.
good.
Matt Damon. Matt
He
Damon.
knows well enough how to put some action together. So
Yes.
that can't
Yeah,
be
that's
said
true.
for
That's true.
everybody.
I mean, Paul Greengrass did direct the best Bourne movies, so you're not wrong
Yeah,
there. That's for sure.
exactly. They're
Yeah.
definitely better than him. But anyways,
hmm
as far as the score, what are you thinking?
Edge of Tomorrow, I'd probably give it like a 6.5 out of 10, if I'm being
Okay,
honest.
all right.
What would you give it?
I give it a five out of
I
10.
fucking knew that was coming.
Yeah,
Ladies and gentlemen, we
like
have a snob. Oh
yeah,
my
it
god.
was entertaining for sure, but
Yeah,
like I was
I
not
know.
bored. Otherwise, I would have maybe stopped watching it. But also, we were gonna watch it for this, like, talk about it for this
Hmm.
podcast. But it was also like I didn't feel like I didn't. It wasn't a drag to get through. Like it was
No, you're not
entertaining
wrong
enough
there.
for sure. So yeah. Again, it's not a movie I'm complaining about for having
Yeah,
kind of recommended slash said we should do. So
yeah, yeah. No, it's all
I
good.
don't
It's all
regret
good.
that. I don't regret watching it.
No,
But
I don't regret watching it. Yeah, that's for sure. Plus, it's helpful that it's on Netflix too. So
yeah, yeah. All right.
yeah,
Well, that's kind of the end of our show. Well, let me quickly look at some trivia for Edge of Tomorrow to see if there's
it
anything
should be
cool.
interesting. Is there anything cool? That's the question.
It's true.
Why are we on the edge of tomorrow?
I don't know. But I think
Edge of
this movie used to be called Live Die Repeat, right? I don't that
Well, that was the tagline, I thought, wasn't it?
was that the tagline? I don't know. I feel like I heard something about
Let
that
me check.
being the
Hold
title of
on.
the movie for a little bit, but I do not remember.
Let me see. Edge of tomorrow. Oh yeah, retitled as Live, Die, Repeat, Edge of Tomorrow on home media.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's based. I didn't realize it was based on a. It's based on a Japanese science fiction novel. That's kind of cool.
So apparently while filming the car chase scene with the minivan, Emily Blunt was instructed to drive fast and take a right-hand turn so the van would shake. However, Blunt missed her mark and she drove the car right into a tree. She later said that was both hilarious and terrifying, as she almost killed, this seems like a bit of an exaggeration, potentially Tom Cruise, who was in the passenger seat, but both of them started laughing after the incident. I feel like if you're laughing, couldn't have been too bad, but
Yeah, I mean, I will say that what's it called? Fucking there. I don't know if there is anything that can kill Tom Cruise. Maybe one of these days, while he's making the Mission Impossible movies, he will die, and we'll just be all shocked. But at this moment in time, I would say he's immortal. To be honest, I don't know if there's anything. I don't know that there's anything out there that can kill him. To be honest, he's fucking. He has done a lot of stupid shit and has not died.
oh
So I
yeah,
think that's why I say that, like not
yeah.
just like like I just it seems crazy that not one accident has happened at any point in time where he hasn't had to be rushed to the hospital like in critical condition. So
Yeah.
kind of a
Um,
miracle.
so this movie is actually based on a Magna? Yeah.
Yeah. I just said that. Did you not hear me?
Did you?
Yeah.
When did you say that?
Yeah. I said that like 2 minutes ago. Are you zoning out?
Nah, I'm
Oh
pretty
my.
sure I've been listening to you this whole time.
No, no, I was talking about it here. I just said it's based on a Japanese novel. It's called All You Need Is Kill,
Okay.
something like that. Yeah, I'm
Well,
looking at it right now.
apparently, so the reason why Rita's character uses a melee weapon is because during her
Yeah.
resets for ammo, many of them in her like repeated like lives during the Battle of Verdun, they would result in her deaths. So that's why she uses a sword.
Hmm. Okay, that's kind of cool. Nice,
So
nice, 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 nice.
apparently, during an early sequence of the film, Emily Blunt punches a young soldier who says, "Bloody hell, it's the Full Metal Bitch." And that part was played
Yeah,
by her real life younger brother, who got a cameo in the film.
that was her younger brother.
Yeah,
Well, that
apparently.
makes sense. That makes sense that they would do something like that. I mean, like brothers and sisters, like our siblings in general, we say shitty things to each other, and then we get a reaction like that. So it's kind of fitting.
Apparently,
That's
Doug
for
Liman wanted to do the film because it showed a role that Tom Cruise hadn't done yet, someone very bad at what he does.
mm.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, that's not exactly true, because what
He
he
ends up
does is
becoming good.
advertising, and he seemed pretty good at that. He just gets thrown into something he's not good at. So I guess
Yeah,
it's yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I guess the last fun fact that we'll leave off with is that the film takes place in 2020, which is appropriate considering what happened in 2020.
happened in 2020. Yeah, no, I completely forgot about that. Actually, it's
Yeah,
interesting.
I didn't
Yeah.
honestly notice that. I don't know where it
But also
is.
think about it though. In 2015, mimics didn't attack, but you know what did happen? Harambe died, and then it all went downhill from there. So
Nah, that's
I don't know. I
crazy.
think it's all connected, man. You know.
Um, apparently
Stop
there
giving me that look.
is
What do
uh
you got?
apparently there's a rumored sequel for Edge of Tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah.
Future.
Doug Liman's I don't know where this is even coming from, but
Seems to
it's
be. It seems to say that they're also thinking about developing. They're
yeah.
developing a television series spin-off for HBO
Okay.
Max at the moment.
So
Hmm.
that's weird. Like like I said, I think the studio wanted a chance for a sequel, but I didn't think it made enough money, but apparently it's been announced.
Hmm.
Let's live, die. It's apparently called Live, Die, Repeat, Repeat right now.
That's a bad name. They should really change that. Oh boy. Oh
And
boy. Please don't call it that. I'm begging you guys, do not call it that. That's not a good name at all. Oh my goodness.
I don't know. I don't see any like official website saying it's been officially announced, so I don't know. This seems to like I don't know if this will actually happen, but that's interesting.
Hmm.
Also, speaking of Emily Blunt, she's also in Oppenheimer, along with every
Yes, she
other
is.
star.
Actor in Hollywood.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
everyone.
no, I
Yeah,
mean, we make jokes about how like I've made jokes in the past like how like what's it called? Nearly every actor out there has like some role, no matter how big or small in like the MCU. But like Christopher Nolan said, "Hold
yeah,
my beer,"
yeah.
puts
It's
them all
true.
in one
It's true.
movie.
He says,
It's
"Yeah, you
crazy.
take the MC. I'm gonna
Oh my
take all the
god.
MCU actors and a bunch of indie actors." Yeah,
Yeah, put them all in one fucking movie. It's crazy stuff.
crazy. I don't
Yeah.
know. Took them. Well, he probably didn't take them for too long, but he probably is like kind of like, "Fuck you, Disney. I'm gonna take them for at least a few days." Like,
Yeah, no, you're not
I
wrong
mean,
there.
I'll just list them off quickly. Florence Pugh, Midsommar and Hawkeye, Jack Quaid, The Boys, Benny Safdie, directed Good Time. He's
Mm-hmm.
also an Obi Wan for that one scene.
Yeah,
Robert
it is
Downey
a small thing.
Jr., Cillian Murphy, Emily Blunt, Matt Damon, Kenneth Branagh, Dane DeHaan, Gary Oldman, Scott Grimes, Rami Malek, Alex Wolff, Josh Peck, Jason Clarke, James Darcy, Casey Affleck, Devin Bostick, like, and that's just the people I know. Like, I'm sure
Wait,
there's
Devin
Devin Bostick's in
Roderick?
this. Yeah, Roderick's in the
Roderick?
movie, bro.
Oh my God. Is this are they gonna connect Diary of a Wimpy Kid to Oppenheimer? That would be nice.
Maybe we'll get that Oppenheimer Dire Whippy Kid crossover we've always
Oh my
wanted.
God. Roderick, stop building nuclear bombs. Oh my God.
It's true.
Jesus Christ.
Stop.
That would be so funny.
Yeah. Anyways,
All we need is Morbius in
yeah.
that movie and it'll be make him more $1 billion. It'll be great.
It's
Yeah.
true. I am looking
Also
forward to
they
this movie though.
yeah.
Um.
Yeah, no, it'll be good. It'll be good. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it should be nice. Yeah,
All
no,
right.
I'm looking at it. It doesn't have a huge budget. Well, comparably, it has $100 million, but that's not as
Yeah.
big as we've seen these days. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's almost like mid-budget now. It's weird, isn't it? It's fucking strange.
What 100 million?
Yeah, I think it's getting close to just only being like mid-budget. I don't know, because movies are getting made for like more and more these days, including marketing, right?
I
So,
mean, yeah. Obviously, like, yeah, it is. Yeah, that is a little lower for. Yeah, like I said, I think it's not. It's gonna have some bigger Christopher Nolan set pieces, but I think will be
yeah,
more of a grounded drama for at least for him, which I'm looking
yeah.
forward to honestly. Like, cause
Mm.
as long as yeah, I don't know, it'll be kind of interesting to see him direct a more straight up war drama, but it's obviously not gonna be too straight up. It's Christopher Nolan. He doesn't. That's not how we do. So
Yeah,
we'll have to
yeah.
see. Yeah, I mean, this is still obviously a blockbuster. Like mid-budget, it's like is usually it's like it's on the highest end, I guess, of mid-budget because I'd say that's more like 60,
Hmm.
70 these days. Anything 100 plus, I'd say is probably a blockbuster. And then like
Yeah,
25 below is like indie. So like but yeah, this is
yeah.
this is closer to what is becoming slowly
Oh,
the
indie comedy. Let's not forget about that category. That's its own at this point. So,
yeah, yeah.
I mean, comedy. I use the word comedy very lightly. Those are not very good movies,
Yeah.
but yeah.
So yeah. As far as what we want to do, I guess at this point we can maybe think about what we might want to do next week. 'Cause like I don't know, as far as new movies go, there is the new Jurassic world, but I don't
Getting
know.
shit reviews. My mom wants me to go see it with her, so I'll probably
Okay.
watch it because of that. But other than that,
Yeah,
I can't say I'm looking
there's
forward to it.
yeah,
You
I don't
know?
know. Like you can quickly mention your thoughts on it. There's like a 0.5% chance I pay money to see that. And I'm also just not
Yeah,
gonna pirate it, so I'm like
yeah. No, there's
I
no
don't want to
point.
pass
I
on that.
mean, yeah, I mean, like, I'm not gonna. I'm probably, my mom's probably gonna pay for me. That's the only reason I'm gonna go see it.
Right,
But
right.
I might get some snacks out of it. But I mean, I'm not. I don't know, man.
Yeah. Um so like
It's not.
the movie coming out this like like Lightyear is coming out this Friday. So,
Ooh, I almost forgot about that.
yeah, I don't
Shit.
know. I feel
Yeah.
like I'd want to talk about that. But obviously I
I
know
don't know
we've
if I have time to see it though, because I
that's
saw
the thing. Yeah, I also don't know if I'll have time to see it for sure. So,
fucking
maybe we'll
work
keep
is.
that for maybe we'll try to leave that for next the week after
Yeah,
to see if we can see it by that point.
yeah.
So I don't know. That kind of just leaves it open to kind of whatever. Like here, let me look at the movies I was thinking of potentially. Like, is there anything you feel like you really want to recommend? Because I don't know. I don't. I think we could just do.
Recommend right now? Hmm. Well, aside from everything everywhere all at once, I mean, like we both talked about how much we love that. If you
Yeah,
anybody who's watching this, if you haven't seen it, please, I beg you, we beg you. I don't know if he's
yeah,
begging, but I'm certainly begging. Go watch this film. It's
yeah,
great. It's just an all around good time. It's very weird, but it's also a good kind of weird. It's something that it'll give you something that you've never seen before on film. That's for sure.
yeah.
So yeah. Spoiler alert: there are a lot of butt plugs. Funny enough, in that film, that's the one thing I remember. It's
There's a
definitely what my
scene with
girlfriend
a
remembers.
bunch of butt plugs.
Yeah, that shit was that was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. It was so funny. I
Yeah,
could not stop laughing. And then like 20 minutes later, I was on the verge of tears. It was very crazy.
yeah. No, that's a movie I
Yeah.
think everyone should see. Um,
Mhm.
what if what is the best movie I've seen recently? Honestly, it might be top. I watched Days of Heaven from
Days
Terrence
of Heaven.
Malick.
Oh.
From Terrence Malick. It's one of the most beautifully shot films I've ever seen.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean Terrence Malick films are always pretty
yeah,
well shot. Oh, this is one of his earlier films. Yeah, I forgot he
yeah,
did that. So he did the whole like a big hiatus, and then he came back with like the
yeah,
Thin Red Line or something like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I watched Raiders of the Lost Ark, which is really good. I enjoyed that a lot.
Was that the first? Was it the first or second
That
time you seen that?
first time I saw it.
Oh, okay, good.
Watched
I
it
was
with my
yeah,
friend.
I remember. I
Yeah,
used to give you
yeah,
shit
yeah,
because you're like you
yeah.
never seen the
I'm
Indiana
working
Jones
on it. I'm
movies.
working on it, bro. I'm working on it.
Good,
I'm watching it
good.
with my friend who hasn't seen them either. So,
That's good. That's good.
yeah, whenever he comes over, we'll probably watch one of them. So, yeah. But it's
That's
also really
awesome.
cool to see that the kid in the second one. So that's the
I
Last
know Ki
Crusade.
Hun Kwan or
Kiki
whatever his name
Kwan.
is. Ki Kwan, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, that he was in Everything Everywhere All at Once after being in
Mm.
that movie, and also Goonies all those years ago. So
Yeah.
that's really
Goonies is
cool.
pretty good actually. That's a nice like coming of age
Yeah.
film, and even has like young Sean
Yeah,
Astin in
yeah,
it.
yeah.
That's another nice.
Did you see
Nice.
the Northman?
Still haven't watched The Northman.
Okay, I
Actually,
really liked it.
my dad has seen that movie. I don't know
Oh,
why the hell I
really?
haven't seen it.
That's
Yeah, I know.
man.
Yeah, I
How's
know a
your
lot of people
dad be
saying it was like
seeing
really good.
more good
I
movies than
know.
you, man? 'Cause-
Oh, one more thing. Have you seen Stranger Things 4 yet? Like
bro,
the first volume?
I haven't seen any Stranger Things, bro. My brother,
What?
look, that I'm actually also fixing that. My brother convinced me to start watching it. Um,
Good.
so
All
we're gonna
right,
watch
he's a
the
smart
pilot
man.
today. Um,
Yeah,
yeah. So,
yeah. I mean, technically, it's not a pilot because like they ordered the series without
oh,
watching it,
they
I
did.
guess. But
I don't know. I just always
yeah, but
called them
there.
pilots, just
Well, I mean,
because.
that's fair. I mean, like the first episode is always called the pilot, right? So yeah.
Pretty much.
Sets the
Yeah.
tone for the series. And I mean, yeah, I think the first episode of Stranger Things is like really good. It's a great introduction to the series, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I hope you like it. It's like some people like call some of the later seasons a bit weaker, but I think the
Yeah.
fourth season is definitely better than the previous two. Like the first
Yeah.
season, I still think is the best, but I think the fourth is definitely my second favorite easily so far.
Nice.
So
Oh,
yeah,
tier, yeah.
yeah.
All right. So I was just. So what movies should we try to do for next week? Do you think?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Cause
Um,
I mean, right now I was trying to finish Terrence Malick's filmography. That's why I watched Days of Heaven. I was gonna
mm.
watch The New World next. That or you seen The Thin Red Line?
Oh yeah, no, I've heard the New World's like pretty decent. It shows like in what actually happened to Pocahontas. She didn't like marry John Smith and like have a happy life like in the Disney film, but
Yeah,
she
yeah,
was carted off to England as a sideshow, and then she died of like some horrible disease very young.
yeah.
It's interesting. Yeah.
So
All right,
I
let's
was
see.
gonna watch
I'm just.
that.
You know what we could watch? Adam Sandler's new film Hustle came out
Oh
where he's
yeah,
like
yeah,
that
yeah. Okay,
basketball player.
yo,
Do you
okay.
want to check that out? Because like
Yeah, I
I've been
was
meaning
gonna,
to
I was
watch
gonna
that.
watch it probably. So honestly, let's do it. Let's do it.
We could do that. Do you want to watch anything else besides that, or do you want to just watch Hustle?
I kind of like if you're down to watch The New World. Um,
Where do I watch the New World? Is it anywhere? Like,
no, not really. That's the thing. Yeah.
okay. Well,
Um,
then I guess I won't watch it.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Just have to say that, but I'm totally gonna pirate it then. No worries, it's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
It came out like 17 years ago.
It's
Nobody's gonna
true.
care.
It's true.
Yeah.
So
Jeez.
yeah, it is a bit longer. It's a 2.5 hour movie, but it's a bit of an
Yeah.
epic. But yeah,
That's
okay.
okay.
Honestly,
Yeah.
that's kind of I like how random our combination of films is.
That is really random. I
Yeah,
just realized that. Oh my goodness.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, and I can
Yeah.
also add I can add our two movies to the list of I had a rank. I had a list, at least my personal ranking of all the movies we've talked about in this podcast. So I get to add a couple
Goodness.
more since we haven't done that in a while. And
Yeah.
yeah, I'm trying. I think this is actually technically episode 50, if I remember correctly.
It is?
Yeah, I think so.
Holy shit! It's the 50th, and we didn't even do anything special.
I
I
know.
can't believe
We
we've
made a.
done 50.
I think we've done 50 of these. Yeah.
Jesus,
I
that's a
know, bro.
lot.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how many we've done. Oh my god,
Yeah. On it, like I mean,
man.
we made a comeback for number 50. We took a break. We, I don't know.
Yep.
I'd say. I mean, we've talked for a while. I think we've had a good discussion, but it's been a good time. I don't know.
Yeah. No, it is. Honestly, I totally agree with you there. It's always nice to
Maybe for
revisit
a
the stuff.
hundred, we'll have to pull out something wild or something. I don't know. We'll see.
No, no, yeah.
We'll have to rank
Also, wait.
everything we've watched.
Whatever happened to that pie shit that we were talking about? Like,
Oh yeah, yeah,
loser, like
yeah, yeah.
Metacritic
For
battle.
the
We
Metacritic
didn't get
battle.
around to that because like I had to start
Yeah,
preparing for like fucking university and I was working.
yeah.
So
I think I technically if I remember correctly, I won. So I think I
no,
technically you owe me the chance to pie you if I remember
no,
correctly.
you do get to pie me. That's definitely correct. Yeah. Ah
So
man.
who knows? Maybe. Well, I don't know.
Hmm.
We'll have to figure that out. Yeah, maybe we'll just include that at the beginning of a random episode. So I was like,
Yeah, that's true. Put
it'd
it
be
before
cool
your
to.
wacky intro where you jump over a fence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know if
We can
I'm
do a
a.
short before.
Yeah.
Or you can do an updated version of that. I don't know. Yeah.
No, we
That'd be
fixed our
okay.
fence though, so I can't do it no more. That's the thing.
Ah
I
shit.
took I took advantage of when it was broken, but we got a new fence now, so the opportunity's missed
Yeah.
out. But
It's too bad.
maybe I'll have
Greatest intro
to.
of movie channels. Yeah.
I'll put some. I don't know, I'll find something else cool maybe for the intro for this podcast.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll just keep it for what I had before. I don't know if I still have the preset that I kind of used for the intro of this podcast and then slapped the new footage behind it. But I don't know. I gotta get editing because I'm also working on that editing a bunch of stuff from what I shot from my year in BC. So I gotta get working
Yeah,
on
guys.
that, bro.
Are you gonna post it on TikTok or where are you gonna post it?
Um,
No, I'm
probably.
just joking. I know you're not basic. I know
Yeah.
you're not gonna post it on TikTok. It's
Yeah,
alright.
bro, I don't have TikTok. I don't even have TikTok, bro.
Not on
I'll probably
TikTok? Oh my
I might
god.
put it on Vimeo. I don't know. Depends what I do with it. I don't know if I might not post it. Well, depending I might not post a version of it. I might make a couple versions depending on. I don't know. This
Then
is
you
like
could
a
sell the
project
director's cut on Patreon.
it's
There you
true.
go.
I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, make it a Patreon
Yeah.
exclusive.
Yeah. How
But
does one start a Wait, is it free to create a Patreon account? Or how does that work? Do you have to pay to start an account?
I don't know. I'd have to look. I think it
I'm
might
gonna
be
look that
worth
up.
it.
I'm
All
gonna look
right.
that up after we start end the call.
Yeah, and then
Actually,
we'll
I'm curious
maybe
about that.
start a Patreon and maybe get one person to pay us $5 a month. Split
Yeah,
it,
that would be
250
cool.
each.
Hey, yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
big money.
Extra
All right,
income, baby.
it's true.
Ah, okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. No, but yeah. Subscribe to our Patreon, and Daniel will show us his toes. That's what's gonna happen.
Oh boy, yeah.
No, hey, ooh. No, I'm just joking. All right,
No,
anyways,
yeah.
how do we end this? How do we end this off again? I forgotten. It's been so fucking.
I know.
Is it
Yeah,
like
it's been a long time.
um I remember saying something about non-binary folks at some point. Oh wait,
Yeah.
I said that at the beginning. I'm pretty sure, ladies and
Oh yeah,
gentlemen,
yeah, yeah.
non-binary folks.
Oh yeah.
Here's what we have to say, something like that. I don't know, but
Um.
I think we just say goodbye. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
you
know.
probably have to edit this down. This is a lot of rambling, but
Yeah,
you
it's
know, I
true.
mean,
I
yeah,
yeah. I don't know. This is a podcast, so I feel like we usually don't edit this down too much. But thank you for
just a tiny
watching.
bit. Yeah.
If you've listened to us trying to figure out how to end this thing for this long, we love you
We
very
appreciate it.
much.
Yeah, we love you guys
Lots of
and
love, and
gals. Yeah,
yeah. And yeah, if you know, watch these movies that we recommended or don't. I don't know. It's up to you. I'm not in charge of. Yeah, yeah.
exactly. You have to
You have your
dance to
own
the
free
beat of
will.
your own drum. Yeah.
It's true.
Hmm.
Yeah. In the end, it's your decision.
It
But
is your decision, but we hope you make the right one.
yeah, and watch Top Gun, even though that movie's doing very well financially. So don't,
I think
you
that's a bit
know,
of an understatement. Yeah.
very
Fucking
well.
dominating. It's dominating the box office right
It's
now.
true.
For sure.
Maybe don't watch Jurassic World, but it
No,
might
just
have to. So
I'm gonna have to, unfortunately.
don't watch it for his sake. Let him be alone in his potential misery. But
I won't be alone. I'll
I
be
know,
with my mommy.
yeah, it's
Okay,
true.
all right.
All
Well,
right.
we'll
Anyways,
see you guys in the next episode.
all right. See you guys.
Thank you, boys. Thank you.